We just found out how tough it is to win a game.
This NLCS is special right here. We welcome you from Los Angeles, California. It's another perfect day for baseball. A big crowd filing into Dodger Stadium, and the madness of the NLCS continues. The 2021 National League Championship Series on TBS is presented by Loan Depot. Tonight, Game 4, the Atlanta Braves up 2-1 over the Los Angeles Dodgers. And hi, everybody, we welcome you. Great to have you with us. Honored to be with you once again. This series has been so fun. Brian Anderson here, Jeff Francoeur, Ron Darling. We'll hear from Lauren Shahade in just a moment. So now we're all set up for a Game 4. Normally, we start to look ahead, but Ron, I think it's important at this point to look back a little bit because we've had moment after moment after moment in this series.
We've been doing this a long time. I've never seen 3 more compelling games to start a postseason series. Now, the Atlanta Braves were able to hold serve in Atlanta because of the walk-off hit from Austin Riley, and then Eddie Rosario with a bullet off Kenley Jansen. That put the Braves up, too. Dodgers had to win last night's ballgame. How did they do it? Cody Bellinger comes up and hits one of the greatest home runs in the history of the Dodger franchise. Mookie Betts with the double to put the go-ahead run, and the Dodgers get a win in this series. The Braves now have lost 10 straight here at Dodger Stadium, but that's not the only bad news they got today.
Yeah, tough news for the Braves. Huascar Ynoa, tonight's scheduled starter, scratch, taken off the roster. Lefty Dylan Lee's put on. So now it becomes more of a bullpen game for Brian Snitker, who's not used to doing that. Well, we asked him, what do you have to do to get through today? He says, my team's got a slug. This is a team built on offense, some big boppers, Peterson, Duvall, Freddie Freeman, second in home runs in the NL this year. And against Julio Urias tonight, they're going to need some of that to be in this game.
Jesse Chavez will start for the Atlanta Braves. He gave up the hit to Mookie Betts that put the Dodgers ahead. He's going to get the start as an opener here today. And on the mound for the Dodgers, they are back in their rotation now as we bring in Lauren Shahade, Julio Urias, and there is a lot of pressure wrapped up in this start tonight with Urias on the mound, Lauren.
Yeah, there is, B.A. We're not used to seeing him struggle in a postseason game. Gave up 2 runs last time out. Dave Roberts said not to worry. There is a reason he is on the mound in every deciding game for us. He is unflappable, and I can confirm. I walked by him earlier. I said this earlier. He was singing and laughing and blowing bubbles and juggling. I asked Mookie, does this guy know he started? And he laughed, said, that's the beauty of Julio. No moment is too big. So the stage is set for Game 4 of the NLCS from beautiful Los Angeles, California. Lineups and first pitch are next on TBS.
By T-Mobile, America's largest, fastest, and most reliable 5G network. And by DraftKings, the best place to get in on the MLB action with daily fantasy, sports betting, and free-to-play pools. All postseason, customers can play in free late-inning pools for a swing at over $50,000. Use promo code HEAT to sign up.
It's time for Dodger Baseball.
The team just a moment ago, Vin Scully from his home via Zoom. He'll be 94 next month. Still as lively as ever and entertaining as ever. And the reason I got into this business, let's face it, and many just like me, the great Vin Scully. We're coming to you from the Vin Scully press box, and it's a Vin Scully kind of night tonight. 68 degrees. It is just a picture-perfect night for baseball, and we are ready for Game 4 of this National League Championship Series. Let's take a look at our batting order tonight. It's presented by Camping World with the Atlanta Braves, the visiting team, and they'll change their order a bit now with the left-hander on the mound, Julio Urias. Dansby Swanson will hit leadoff. Freddie Freeman in the 2 spot, then Ozzie Albies. In the middle of the order for Brian Snitker, Austin Riley, Eddie Rosario, and Adam Duvall, and Jock Peterson, Travis d'Arnaud, and Jesse Chavez. So Chavez, unlikely he'll bat. He is an opener. They would love to get 2 innings out of Jesse Chavez, but maybe more realistically, 1 inning. We'll have to see how the game flows tonight. This is a bullpen game, Ronnie, for the Atlanta Braves. They were 5 outs away from going up 3 games to none with a bullpen game looming. Now the tables have really turned.
There were many moons ago, starting pitchers would not know if they were pitching until they got to the ballpark, looked in their locker, and saw a ball in their glove. That is what has happened to Jesse Chavez today, because he didn't know until this afternoon that he's going to be facing Cody Bellinger and the Dodgers. He started 4 times this year. On June 24th, he went 2 2/3. That'd be amazing if he could do that for his team today.
Well, Jeff, you mentioned Dylan Lee, so that's not a name that we've seen yet in this LCS, but he is a left-hander that's been added to the Braves roster here in the NLCS with Huascar Ynoa going out with a shoulder injury.
Well, unshockingly, a lefty is exactly what they did with Mentor and Matzik. They like the lefty matchups against this Dodgers lineup.
So the Dodgers hit the field behind their young, talented left-hander from Mexico, Julio Urias. James Hoy had the night off last night. He's back there behind home plate tonight. 3rd LCS for Hoy. Lance Barksdale is the first base umpire. Todd Tishner out at second base. We've been tracking his path because he's lined up to be the home plate umpire for Game 7. Trip Gibson over at third base in his first championship series. And the 2 outfield umpires, Jordan Baker in left, and the man who had the plate last night, Jerry Meals, who is the crew chief. He's in right field. If we are in need of a review or a replay, he'll be the man to administer that. As Julio Urias, his final preparations run before he makes a big start. And as I mentioned with Lauren, there is a lot of pressure wrapped up in this start because of what happened in Game 2 Sunday.
I think when you have 3 games in a row and no off days, it's so important that he goes deep into this game. Remember, in Game 2, just 2 days ago, he threw 14 pitches. We'll see how effective he is tonight.
And rounding out, Will Smith, again, of course, 3 home runs this postseason, catching Urias. And, of course, the usual Dodgers infield, Turner, Seager, Trey Turner, Cody Bellinger over at first. And then the outfield guys, I think one of the best things, Gavin Luxton, center field, has made the big error yesterday, and Doc Roberts throws him right back in there today.
The Atlanta Braves last won at Dodger Stadium in 2018. It's 10 consecutive losses for the Braves here at Dodger Stadium. They got swept earlier this year, but all games were close. Braves had a couple of leads in that series, but it was almost the same script last night, Ron.
What was interesting with Lux and the error on the ball hit by Riley is that Dave Roberts, 2 innings later, went up to him on the bench, patted him on the back and said, hey, listen, don't get careful on me now. You're a good player and you're going to be back in there.
Yeah, the last thing you want to do is get a kid like that kind of, not confident in himself and not sure. If you're out there in center field, you better be ready to go.
Right. Lux right back on the horse here tonight. All the pieces in place. Dansby Swanson steps in the box. A crowd that is going to be over 50,000 here tonight when they all get from the parking lot to their seats. And Julio Urias deals, and the first pitch is in there for a strike, and away we go.
Something to think about here. Urias is a strike thrower. 71% of the time, first pitch strikes. The Atlanta Braves, a very aggressive team. Love to swing early in the count.
Eddie Rosario's been leading off against right-handers. Swanson against the lefty. In the air, Bellinger is back. Coming in, Mookie Betts. He'll make the call and the catch. And that's how Game 4 starts. I want to know how good this series is. 3 one-run games, 3 final at-bat games, 2 walk-offs by the Braves to start it. Then the Dodgers with their big go-ahead RBI for Mookie Betts in their final at-bat. You got to go back to the 2013 ALCS Tigers-Red Sox. Only other league championship series to start with 3 one-run games. Here's Freddie Freeman now with 1 away. Freeman caught fire last night. 3 hits in 4 tries. All of his base hits came to the opposite field. He had started this series 0 for 8 with 7 strikeouts, and then made a little bit of an adjustment, maybe just a mentality at the plate. Started driving the ball to the opposite field yesterday, Jeff.
Yeah, 3 bullets to left field. His 5th career game with 3 opposite field hits, but his first since 2017.
He
a lot of times that'll get you back to where you need. You start to feel good, and then now you might see him get a little bit more aggressive.
Urias misses down and away.
Urias started twice against the Braves this season, won 11 innings, gave up 3 runs, all 3 runs coming on solo homers, 2 by Freddie Freeman.
He's had so much success, has Urias, in the postseason. He was a star on the mound coming out of the bullpen last year. That was a pandemic-shortened season, however. And Urias was in every 5-man rotation starter last year, but about half the games, and was great in the postseason. He finished off the LCS against the Braves. He finished off the World Series against the Rays out of the bullpen. His first blemish out of the bullpen coming in Game 2. Up and in. And Freeman spins away from it. 3-2 the count.
Everything was away early, and this fastball up and in just misses Freeman.
Full count. And that one crowds him. Ball 4. So the first walk issued. Urias will put Freeman aboard with 1 away. And Freeman's quality at bats continue here in Los Angeles. Feeling right at home. He's from Southern California.
When Ozzie Albies, we continue to talk this series about how good he is from the right side. He's the one that got the rally started against Julio Urias with the single to right field before Austin Riley drove him in. And that's one thing I think, looking at this, they've struggled against Urias in the past, Ronnie, but had to feel good about that game, getting 2 runs off him. Something they haven't done.
Braves flip the script on the Dodgers in Game 2. And then the Dodgers late game, Game 3, doing the same. Braves are 5 outs away from a 3-0 advantage. They couldn't finish it off. It was a 4-run 8th inning. Bellinger had the big blast that tied the game. And then Mookie Betts with the RBI double to put him ahead. Kenley Jansen was electric out of the bullpen. He struck out the side to finish it off. We have seen a ton of relievers in this series already. That's been a theme of the postseason. Get used to it. That is going to continue the way the game has changed. But Dave Roberts is really hoping, imploring Julio Urias to pitch in somewhat of an efficient level so he can give him some innings here tonight. He'd love to get 6 innings out of him in this game.
So far early in this game, everything is up from Urias.
Ozzie Albies with Freddie Freeman at first base. And a little jam shot pop up. Going to be a tough play. Bellinger's got a long way to go. Over the shoulder. Oh, makes a catch. Nice play by Cody Bellinger. Nice to have center fielder's wheels playing first base. And it's out number 2. A beautiful play by the hero from Game 3.
He makes this look a lot easier than it really was. Running, looking over your shoulder, and as you said, B.A., it's nice when you have a guy so athletic like him to be able to make that play.
Unlike the Swanson pop-up, Mookie was not going to get there.
And Bellinger was holding Freeman on, so he had a lot further to travel. Bellinger starts the games at first typically now. He is, if the Dodgers have a lead, finishing the games in center field. It's a very rare combination. Here's Austin Riley, the Game 1 hero. And he takes a ball.
Well, if you remember, in Game 2, Austin Riley got a fastball first pitch from Urias and lined it off the left field wall. That time, start him off with a little off-speed pitch.
By the way, they took a hit away from Riley for yesterday. The sun ball in right center that was dropped by Lux. It was initially scored as a double, and that was changed overnight. So Riley yesterday was 0 for 4, changed to an error, an E8, probably a good call. Tough play indeed for Lux, but he was under it. It affected the earned runs of Walker Buehler and took a hit away from Austin Riley. Riley on the ground, gobbled up. Seager makes a play to turn, easy way, and the side is retired. Urias walks a batter with 1 out, gets through it. Now the Dodgers coming up, and the opener, Jesse Chavez on the mound. Batting order presented by Camping World for the defending world champs, the Los Angeles Dodgers. Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, Trey Turner make up the top of the order. Will Smith, Gavin Lux, Justin Turner in the middle for Dave Roberts. Note Lux and Turner flip-flop. And Cody Bellinger hitting 7th. Chris Taylor and Julio Urias will round out the starting 9. And the man from Fontana, California, just 53 miles from Dodger Stadium, Jesse Chavez on the mound as the opener. And his first one is in there for a strike.
Looking cool with his shades. Every team seems to have that one pitcher who has that rubber arm that can throw every single day. Chavez is that pitcher for the Braves.
Chavez was on the mound facing Betts in the 8th inning last night. Betts drove a double into the gap in right center field. And Chavez giving up the go-ahead RBI and put the Dodgers up 6-5. That's how the game would end after Jansen closed it out. How rare is it for a pitcher to give up the decisive hit in the late game scenario and then come right back and start the next game the next day
against that same hitter?
And Betts pops this one up a mile high. Dansby Swanson is over there, the Braves shortstop, and he's got it for the out. So one away. It's a 3-batter minimum these days. Chavez has to face 3. Smiley will be ready, you would imagine, for Gavin Lux.
Yeah,
Lux hitting 5th in this lineup.
I would say Brian Snitker didn't really put a limit. He just said at some point in the lineup where we don't like the matchup, we're making the move.
And if you know Jesse Chavez, and he's been around a long time, I mean, this guy, he has been in the big leagues. He's got a ton of experience, all kinds of different scenarios, mostly a reliever, of course, but he is relishing this moment here. And you know Jesse Chavez wants to offer up a big surprise to the Dodgers. That one's up the middle, backhanded Albies, jump throw to first, and it is in time. Ozzie Albies with a gem right out of the gates here in the bottom of the first. A beautiful play to take care of Corey Seager, and 2 men are out.
Well, what he does so good right here, guys, is look, instead of throwing it right away, he takes another step to make sure he could get a little something on this throw and fires a strike to Freddie Freeman.
Albies, when you watch him field, he has improved so much under the guidance of Ron Washington from when he came up as a young player.
2 outs. Here is Trey Turner. That was a really interesting replay. When you see an infielder take a couple of extra steps, you think he's gathering his feet, which he is, but he's multitasking. Did you see his hand?
Yes.
He was getting a grip on the baseball. He was finding the seams with his hand so he could get off a good throw with the seams running.
Also, all good infielders have an internal clock, and that internal clock tells them they know who the runner is, how long it's going to take them to get there, and how to gather and make that play.
Jesse Chavez says, wow, anybody can pitch in the big leagues with that kind of defense. It's a great infield for the Braves. Not only are they airtight defensively, but they swing the bats as well. Chavez to Turner, and he takes a ball. Trey Turner has had a quiet LCS. Did have a hit yesterday. Had a couple of hits in game 1. And Turner pops this one up. Boy, that's all you can ask for if you're Brian Snitker. Swanson puts it away. 3 up and 3 down. A nice and tidy 11 pitch first inning for Jesse Chavez. Get your game on at MLBshop.com. Authentic on-field caps, tees, hoodies, and more. Get all your postseason gear and wear what the champs wear at the official source, MLBshop.com. One of the classics, third oldest ballpark in the big leagues, Dodger Stadium. And the crowd still filing in here. They're expecting over 51,000 tonight. Game 4 of this National League Championship Series. Here we go to the second inning. Big swing and a miss by Eddie Rosario.
Rosario's been leading off, but with the left-hander Urias out there, he's batting in the 5th hole.
That, even in the 5th hole, doesn't change his approach.
Yeah.
Coming out swinging.
Rosario has hit in all 7 postseason games. He's hitting .400. He delivered a walk-off moment in Game 2 of this series. It was Riley Game 1, Rosario Game 2, and then Bellinger and Betts in Game 3. No balls, 2 strikes. And that ball's hit well into left field. Turning and running is Taylor at the track. The wall. She's gone. Eddie Rosario with a home run. Opposite field smash, and the Braves strike first.
Someone said the Braves had the slug today, didn't they?
Yeah, well, Brian Snitker was telling us that before the game in the dugout. We talked about it on the opener, Ronnie. But look, when a guy's hot, the guy's hot. And this is an 0-2 pitch, though, that Urias tried to kind of climb the zone on him. And Rosario, that's his 3rd career postseason home run now.
A silencer as Rosario continues his hitting ways. He has been an impact player in this league championship series. Acquired via trade from the Cleveland Indians. He was hurt when they acquired him. Had an abdominal injury. And what a find he's been. Adam Duvall takes a ball. Rosario had a big 4-hit game in Game 2, including that game-winning RBI. He's now hitting all 4 of this LCS. And a 2nd inning home run to give the Braves the early lead.
Rosario 7 for 13 now in this NLCS.
Well, and this is that fastball up. And Rosario gets the bat head to it. And it's funny that that ball was up, because Adam Duvall was talking to me before the game today, guys, saying, I said, what's your approach against Urias? He said, you got to see the ball up. You see that ball up, it gives you a chance to stay on the curveball. And, well, right off the bat, Rosario made him pay.
Duvall, a swing and a foul. Well, now that we're here, we're into the game, you start to feel the game a little bit. And we talked about this earlier, but the pressure that the Dodgers have. Yes, they have a starter on the mound. They are lined up with starting pitching now. You know they're going to finish this best-of-7 series with Scherzer and Walker Buehler in Game 6 and 7. They've got a bullpen day looming tomorrow as well. And the Braves, with that home run, take the early lead. Dave Roberts had a long conversation with us about managing this game with a lead or a deficit. It changes everything for the Dodgers in a day like this, when you're hoping to get some mileage out of Urias. 3 balls and a strike. The count to Duvall.
You know, Pedro Martinez in the pregame was talking about something I find really interesting. The starters in the postseason have not been going deep into games. We're coming off a 60-game season. They're all hitting career highs as far as innings. Urias this year, his high by almost 100 innings. Yeah. This is his 4th time pitching in 11 days. How do you judge where your pitcher is going to be? That's what we're watching.
And as great as he was in the postseason last year, it does have that caveat that he was fresh. He had pitched essentially a half a season when he was logging multiple innings. That ball's high and deep into left center field. Duvall gives it a ride, and this one's going to fly. Adam Duvall with a home run. The Braves go back-to-back. 2-0 Atlanta. And now you really start to feel the screws tightening.
Well, Adam Duvall talked about today seeing the ball up, being able to spit and foul off that curveball. What did he do? He fouled off the curveball and allowed him to get this fastball over the heart of the plate. And look, 38 home runs during the regular season. One of the strongest hitters in baseball.
The National League's top RBI man this year. Another midseason acquisition. Duvall coming from the Miami Marlins. And it is Rosario and Duvall, part of that remade Atlanta outfield that delivers back-to-back homers in this 2nd inning as Jock Peterson takes a strike. And now the other piece of that remade outfield, Jock Peterson, the former Dodger who signed with the Cubs this past offseason. And the Cubs trading him to Atlanta in mid-July. Duvall had not driven in a run until yesterday's game 3, and then had back-to-back plate appearances with RBI hits, and he strikes for a solo home run here tonight. Strike to Peterson.
Well, all NLCS, Adam Duvall got held down by the Brewers pitching. First 2 games in Atlanta, really, the Dodgers did a great job. We saw yesterday, I thought, his at-bats getting better and better and better. And he clipped him here in game 4.
Got that swagger now. He's been driving in some runs. And now Peterson leans over, and that was foul, but it's caught by Bellinger. He was guarding the line and snares that one in foul territory for out number 1 of the 2nd inning.
Well, off the end of the bat from Peterson, but a hooking line drive caught about 5 feet foul by Bellinger. Are we ever going to see a shift where someone's in foul position? No, you can't do that.
We might be getting close, but look, Bellinger, he was right on the back. The other way, we've seen Austin Riley right on the line at third base. These guys are not wanting to give up that double down the line.
So here is Travis d'Arnaud. He bats with 1 away here in the 2nd inning. First time this year d'Arnaud has batted 8th. d'Arnaud has been excellent behind the plate. Has 1 hit. He's 1 for 9 in the LCS. You got the pitcher spot due next.
No one on the on-deck circle. That's a no-no. Should have someone out there.
And whether Chavez was going to remain or not has been answered at this point anyway by Brian Snitker as he rolls Johan Camargo out there. We've seen the managers pull pinch hitters back and allow pitchers to hit. So we'll see how Snitker wants to play this. 2-0 Atlanta. And d'Arnaud fouls it away. 1 ball, 2 strikes to count.
Well, the 0-2 pitch to Rosario that he hit for a home run, only the 2nd 0-2 home run Julio Urias has ever given up. I wonder if he's going to start getting a little more curveball heavy. We've seen a lot of fastballs, but to me, his curveball, his best pitch.
And we haven't seen his change. Yeah. And that's one of his better pitches as well.
20-game winner this year. The lone 20-game winner in the major leagues this season. On the ground. Tough play here. Turner, long throw. d'Arnaud is safe. That'll be an infield hit for the Braves catcher. And Atlanta with their 3rd hit of the inning. It was a nice play by Turner to get there. He probably saved extra bases, but no chance to throw out d'Arnaud.
Well, look how far Turner's playing off the back. The fact that he even got to this ball in the first place. And d'Arnaud doesn't run awful for a catcher. He was never going to make that play. And I thought, guys, we might see Jesse Chavez or a pitcher come out to maybe bunt in this situation to save someone.
I've only seen that play made once in my lifetime. It was Brooks Robinson in Cincinnati.
Ron Washington having a chat here with Johan Camargo.
I think Brian Snitker feels he's got him on the ropes a little bit right here, and he wants to send the bat up there.
I agree. There's only 1 out. 3 hits in the inning. Camargo, an early appearance off the bench. Chavez was going to go an inning, maybe an inning plus. Certainly wasn't going to go more than 2. So Snitker's going to take a shot at it right here. Camargo fouls one into the screen. It is worth noting for the Atlanta Braves, while they are carrying a 6-man bench, Camargo, one of the 2 switch hitters that Brian Snitker has, he does have a secret weapon down there in Max Fried, who is an excellent hitter and base runner. And Max Fried has told us that he will have spikes on tonight. He'll be prepared to get an at-bat at some point if need be, to pinch run if need be. He's the Braves' emerging ace as the starting pitcher, but he may be relied upon as a position player here tonight.
He'll tell you, I'm an athlete.
And all the athletes say, Camargo swings and misses.
Yeah, those everyday players are a little skeptical. In fact, Brian Snitker doesn't mind putting Fried in there, but he did that this year, and Fried ended up sliding into home head first.
That's right.
He had a heart attack.
Braves have 2 runs in. Urias coming out of a relief appearance Sunday. And Camargo fouls it off. Camargo was a late add to the roster. Was not on the division series roster in that series against Milwaukee. Braves won that series in 4. But then adding that extra piece, a switch hitter, good defender, and an early pinch hitter in Johan Camargo. Spent most of the year in AAA Gwinnett. Rosario and Duvall giving the Braves a 2-0 lead as they go back-to-back here in the second. On the ground, tough play here. Turner will wind it up, makes the play, had no shot at second. Darno advances. And Camargo is out. It is a productive out. Braves have a runner in scoring position. And back to the top of the order they go.
Well, almost like a sack bunt. Urias 3 changeups to Camargo. Wondering if we'd see it. And good play by Justin Turner just to go to first right there. Darno had a good jump on it. Never would have got him at second.
Darno coming into your living room. Tonight's base camp presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. When I see that hop that Turner took, that reminds me that he plays half of his games at Dodger Stadium where there are no bad hops. It's as pure of an infield as it gets. But he took a risk on the short hop. Top of the order here is Swanson. A swing and a miss. By the way, Dodger Stadium tonight hosting its 100th postseason baseball game. Number 100. Yankee Stadium is the leader all time. The original Yankee Stadium, 161.
That includes the 4 last year, right, between the Astros and the Athletics.
Frenchie was here for that with Don Orsillo.
Home run derby series.
Yeah. Every other pitch.
And that one misses low and away.
We were wondering, guys.
There's the list. Fenway Park is next. And then Ring Central Coliseum in Oakland. And in St. Louis, Busch Stadium. Number 100. We love round numbers in the game. So this is number 100 tonight. Shift is on for Swanson. In the air, he popped him up. Taylor coming in, he'll make the call. And that will retire the side. 3rd time this year, the Braves go back-to-back, the 3rd time in their history. Last time in 2002. This time, Rosario and Duvall. Time for Next Matters Most, presented by Roman. And next out of the Atlanta bullpen is Drew Smiley. And Ronnie, his first postseason appearance in a while.
Yeah, since 2013. You see his numbers. He lost his rotation spot in the end of August. Ended up pitching 6 times in relief in September. So he's used to pitching in relief. But the number really to circle is that home runs allowed. 27 this year. Fastball that he cuts sometimes. Big breaking ball.
32-year-old Drew Smiley, and inning number 2 for Atlanta in their bullpen game. And now the Dodgers find themselves down 2-0. Back-to-back solo home runs from Rosario and Duvall in the top of the second. Will Smith takes a strike. Smith, Lux, and Turner. Dave Roberts flip-flopped his lineup once he saw the new roster with Dylan Lee as an added left-hander. Oscar Inoa was supposed to start today for Atlanta. If you're just joining us, Inoa was going to start the bullpen game for the Braves. A shoulder injury. He was a scratch. They went with Chavez and added another left-hander in their bullpen, and that necessitated a change in the lineup for Dave Roberts. Smith got the rally started yesterday in that 8th inning. Right off the end of the bat, he dumped one into right field. The Dodgers down 3, down to their last 5 outs. Little tapper. Smiley pounces on it, spins and fires low Freeman makes a play for out number 1. Smiley this year for Atlanta, 29 games, 23 of those were starts. His strikeouts per 9, a little over 8, and about 3 walks per 9, so that gave him just shy of 3 for strikeouts to walks. But as you guys mentioned, he's prone to the home run ball. Facing Gavin Lux. Dodger fans gave him a nice hand.
Well, so far you're seeing a lot of cutters from Drew Smiley. You see Lux asking the umpire about that pitch.
So is the Dodger bench not happy with that call.
Fastball, opponents are hitting 329, so he's trying to get to that curveball, which he's got his best pitch.
Slings one in off the plate this time. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Lux was in the starting lineup yesterday, walked twice, and the miscue in center field. Remember, he's new to the position, and we talked to Dave Roberts about him today. And of course, Ronnie mentioned Dave's line of the day was don't go being careful now. You know, we need you at the plate, and this is why he's in the lineup and back in there in center field.
Now, and I love that Dave Roberts threw him back in there today, because a lot of times it's easy to keep a guy on the bench and say, you know what, he's not ready for it. Reminds me of one of my great managers in Bobby Cox that used to, hey, throw him back out there, let him go. This kid's a good player.
Yeah, we're thinking about Bobby Cox as well. Back at his home in Atlanta, watching us tonight. Lux fouls it away.
So in today's game where you see pitchers add with their velocity, Smiley's just the opposite. Every chance he gets, he wants to subtract with his pitches and get you out in front.
You don't see that too much anymore.
2-2 the count. Smiley deals, and it skips away from d'Arnaud. Send it down to Lauren Shahadi. She's got more on Gavin Lux. What do you have, Lauren?
Yeah, Walker Buehler shouldered all the blame for that misplay in center in Game 3 by Lux. Said Gavin's extremely talented. He's playing a position he's played 10 times before. Plus, it's October, and it's magnified. He said, I didn't execute my pitches after that, so that inning, it's on me.
They like hearing that. Thanks, Lauren. That's a good teammate right there. Now Lux gets into one. He thinks he got it. That's way back. And this one is going to be caught. Duvall! What a catch! Twice now Gavin Lux thought he had hit one out to left center. Remember that moment against the Giants off Duvall that came up short. And Duvall this time gets him in center field. What a play.
Well, a guy that's played left field and right field, barely played center field in his career, but he's athletic. He's been around a while. And he makes a great play here, whether that ball was going out or a double or triple off the wall. A huge play by Adam Duvall.
I think it would have hit the top of the wall just under it, and Lux cannot buy one. He is roasted a couple out there for outs. 2 gone in the inning. And here's Justin Turner hitting 6th in this Dodger lineup. The game can be so cruel sometimes, can it? That's a shot. That is foul. Riley almost touched it with the glove.
Again on that ball. Again on that line, Frenchie.
You're right. Between Bellinger and Riley, we might see one of them in foul territory eventually.
Now remember this about Smiley, as this ball just goes over the leaping try by Riley. He hasn't thrown more than 46 pitches since August 30th. He hasn't pitched in 18 days.
Wow. Simulated games, keeping his arm loose. Completely different story, though, when you're between the lines of a postseason game.
Well, and I think Brian Snitker with us guys was realistic and said it's not like he's a bulk guy. I can't ask him to give me 4 or 5. I'm hoping to get 2, maybe a little bit more.
Justin Turner, 2 outs, 2nd inning, 2-0 Braves. And Turner shoots one down the right field line, slicing, foul. I don't know if Justin Turner is feeling a little better now, but his swings look like they got a little more pop to them. Another look at this great play by Adam Duvall.
Well, great timing, too. It's easy to get back there sometimes, get stuck on that wall. He knew exactly where it was and went up and got it.
Oh, would have been close. Turner again, big swing, fouls it away. Curveball from Smiley.
But what we've seen in the postseason so far, other than the home run that Turner hit on the curveball from Wainwright, is that he's had trouble with velocity up in the strike zone, and you don't get that with Smiley.
It's been a struggle for Turner, dealing with soreness in the hamstring, in the neck. Knocked him out of game 2. He did not start that game. Had a string of 77 consecutive starts in the postseason before the neck injury knocked him out of game 2. He did pinch hit and was hit by a pitch in that game.
This is also a guy that is not used to struggling in October.
He's been a star for him. 2-2 the count. Turner is 1 for 7 in the LCS. 0 for 3 yesterday. He did make a nice play at third base. And they are saying the neck is getting better and better. He's not going to be 100% until the off season. Just got to play through it. 2-2. Bouncing ball out to Albies, the second baseman over on the shift. And the openers, Chavez and Smiley, 6 up and 6 down with little help from the D. Duvall's hit one out and taken one back. 2-0 Atlanta as we go to the third. All right, let's take a look at the DraftKings Sportsbook game odds for tonight's game. Julio Urias over under on strikeouts. It's at 3.5. He does not have a strikeout at this point. Gave up 2 runs on back-to-back homers from Rosario and Duvall in the second. And here we go to the third with Freddie Freeman leading off. Freeman, Albies, Riley, and a swing and a miss. That's the 5th swing and miss against Urias. Does the strikeouts tell you anything about the Dodger starter tonight?
Well, you've gone through the first 2 innings and you haven't got a K. He's a guy that struck out 195 during the season. Right now, the fastball to me, guys, looks a little bit flat. And maybe that's why you're seeing him start to go to that curveball changeup. You pointed out, Ronnie, yesterday, Charlie Morton made a mid-game adjustment. Might be saying the same now from Urias.
Morton went 5 yesterday. He pitched well. Gave up some traffic early, was on the ropes early, but settled in and gave him 5. A lot of discussion whether he could have gone an extra inning or not. A 6th inning. And it did feel like the Braves ended up 1 inning short. It was Luke Jackson who came out for the 8th and gave up the 4 runs. But Morton pitched well, and he'd be lined up again to pitch in a game 7 across from Buehler if it goes that far. 2-1 to Freeman, and a high fly ball into right field. Got some carry to it. Betts is back at the wall, and this one is gone. The Atlanta Braves with the long ball. Freddie Freeman this time. 3-0 Braves on the 3rd solo home run of the night. The Braves hit 239 homers in the regular season this year. 2nd in the National League.
And here's another fastball, guys. 92, right down the middle, a little bit up, and a hitter like Freddie Freeman, who got 3 hits yesterday, you're not getting that ball back.
That's a little alarming to see Urias at 92 miles an hour. He's usually a 95-plus guy. And there's not a lot on that fastball like we saw in San Francisco in game 2.
Albies hits a bullet foul. Just foul. Nice snag down there. Well done. No balls and a strike on Ozzie Albies. Turner laying out for it. Hit it hard. And a lot of hard hit balls already against Julio Urias. 3-0. Braves lead it. Albies down in the count. No balls and 2 strikes. The decision to bring Urias back This is a second guesser's delight, this game. Of course it is. But to come out of the bullpen in game 2, it did not go well. But if he comes back and he pitches well tonight, Urias, then it works. You know, you used him, then he comes back, he has a good game. That's why I felt like there was so much pressure onto Urias to start this game, but he's not himself. He does not look like the Urias that won 20 ball games this year for the Dodgers.
Just think it's a lot to ask a 25-year-old coming off a shortened season last year. He pitched well into October, of course, because they're the world champions, and asking him to pitch 4 times in 11 days.
Well, we've seen it with Max Scherzer. He's one of the most, I guess you'd call him a postseason beast that we see. He said he had a dead arm.
Yes.
Had trouble. So now, like you said, Ronnie, you've got a young kid. You don't know how he's going to bounce back.
That for Scherzer was a start following his relief appearance when he closed the game, game 5 of the division series against San Francisco. And he got through that and got the save. And that one's lined right to Seager. Albies hit it sharply, but it is out number 1. Let's hear the plan from Brian Snitker. Moments ago, Lauren caught up with a Brave skipper.
Brian, how much length can Smiley give you?
You know what? Probably at least down to the at-bat and maybe more. I think it just depends. We'll just check him inning by inning, see how many, pitches. I mean, he could go 50, 60 pitches probably.
How about that range by Duvall out there?
That was a great play. That ball's way out of here yesterday afternoon, and he made a great play with it.
Appreciate it, Brian.
Thank you.
Well, we've got a gem there from Lauren, because Brian Snitker is letting us know how he's going to really run this game. And that is the pitcher's position, the 9th position. He is going to run that. If they have a chance to add on runs, then that pitcher is going to come out of the games. If they don't, then they're going to try to pitch that pitcher through that spot and get as much as they can out of him.
Down to the at-bat, he said. Right now we're in the 4th spot of the lineup. Riley whistles one foul.
When you're a manager and you're watching your pitcher out there, there's a lot of things you judge. You judge his velocity, you judge his break and his breaking ball, and one other thing you judge. How is the opposition taking at bats? What are they doing? And there's been a lot of line drives so far hit by the Braves, including their home runs.
1 ball, 1 strike to Riley. A swing and a miss.
You just go back. Max Scherzer pitched that inning Thursday night, started Sunday. Well, Julio Urias pitches an inning Sunday, starting Wednesday. Same amount of rest, same situation, and to me, you're seeing the same kind of thing, just not the sharpness you're used to seeing.
3 solo homers. Riley takes a ball. Close pitch inside. Urias thought he had a ring up there.
When you watch Urias pitch, he's very demonstrative when he thinks a ball's close and should be called a strike, and he let Hoy know.
It's only the 2nd time Urias has given up 3 home runs in a game. It has been a while since the last time. 5 years ago, as a matter of fact, his 2nd major league start, 2016. And Freeman, the 3rd of the 3 homers. Rosario and Duvall went back-to-back in the 2nd.
Urias is a very confident pitcher. You saw him slap at the mound there, so frustration setting in.
Full count to Austin Riley. Grounder over to third base. Turner. And a scoop by Bellinger, out number 2.
On every out right now, good pitch by Urias. It's on the changeup. Good changeup there. All 3 home runs tonight on fastballs.
And while Urias is in the spotlight right now, it does put pressure on the offense. It's almost the same conversation, Frenchie, you were having with us in the pregame show about the pressure of the offense. And in a bullpen game for Atlanta, it has reversed quickly here with the 3-run game so far for Atlanta. And these Dodger position players know they're going to have to swing the bat. It's been a pretty dormant offense, minus that 4-run 8th inning yesterday.
And Dave Roberts made a great point talking to us. They said 2-run homers both times in the 1st inning, but we haven't been able to add on. We've got stagnant.
That was Seager in back-to-back games 2 and 3. A strike to Rosario. And Urias ahead of him, 0-2.
Might have been the best fastball he's thrown all night on that pitch.
He was ahead of him 0-2 last at bat.
That was 95 miles an hour. "0-2 is in the dirt. See what Urias has in mind here. 1 ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs in the third. And that ball's down the line. On the run, Bench cannot get there. 2 hops off the fence. Rosario around second, on his way to third. The throw comes in, and it is a triple for Rosario. Flying around the bases. One of the fastest players in the big leagues. And it's a 2-out triple in the third inning. Rosario's 2 for 2.
Well, 1-2 count this time, and he hangs a curveball. I mean, that's a mislocation, trying to go away. And Rosario, how hot he is right now, he's not going to miss that pitch. And in the outfield, Betts might have bobbled it a little bit, which enabled Rosario to get all the way over to third.
A triple for Rosario with 2 outs. They will intentionally walk Adam Duvall here. So now 2 men on, first and third for Jock Peterson. Roberts playing the matchup, lefty on lefty.
Watch Mookie when he gets to it, Frenchie. Goes to pick it up with the glove. He didn't. He fumbled, and that fumble allowed Rosario to go from second to third.
Our T-Mobile base cam. Rosario with 7 total bases already. A home run and a triple. The Braves have him at the corners now. 2 outs. Rosario's got a big lead at third. And Peterson a swing and a miss. That sweeping curveball of Urias.
Even that pitch that Jock Peterson just missed didn't have the bite we're used to seeing. It was a little bit of a hanger. Big moment in the game right here.
Urias trying to put the lid back on the Braves. Their offense has arrived here in game 4.
A lot of pressure on Smith to keep that ball in front of him, because even if it gets 10 feet away, Rosario could come. He's 30 feet down the line.
Rosario's lead is as big as Justin Turner will allow. Turner's space between the bag is Rosario's. Urias deals. 1-2.
60 pitches already in the third inning for Urias.
He's given up 5 hits and a lot of slug. 3 homers, a triple. He's walked 2. Trying desperately to get out of this third inning. 1-2 the count.
Jock Peterson trying to serve that breaking ball to left field.
That's a good job of just getting a piece of this ball to see another pitch.
By that much. Peterson rocking the pearls again. Peterson with 12 homers his last 5 years in the postseason. Had a key 2-run homer in game 2. Up in a big spot. 1-2. In the air, center field, off the end of the bat, coming in fast. Lux cannot get there. A base hit. Rosario will score. 4-0 Atlanta. As Peterson drives in a run right off the end of the bat. It died in center field. And a 2-out hit for Jock Peterson. And the Braves are up 4-0.
Ball right off the end of the bat from Peterson. And remember, we talked about Dave Roberts saying to his center fielder, don't be careful. Don't be too careful in your play. He was very conservative and careful there.
And how many times during the postseason do we see guys kind of, you know what, shorten their swing a little bit, put the ball in play? That was Jock Peterson doing that there. Usually during the season, you see a big swing. Try to force the action.
Not that Lux could make the play, but that was the time to attempt to try to make the play.
Out.
You needed it. He needed that out.
I mean, again, this is only his 11th start in center field. He's out there because of his bat. I mean, you're asking a lot out of a 23-year-old. It's a huge burden. And the ball finds you, doesn't it? Always. First and second now. Jock Peterson's 9th RBI of the postseason. That is the most in the National League. So here's a situation where d'Arnaud, the 8th place hitter, is up. If he reaches, then a decision to make. Because the pitcher, Smiley, is due up next. How many is enough for Brian Snitker? We're about to find out. d'Arnaud into right field. Got some carry, but will stay in. And the inning is over. And the Braves add 2 more. Freddie Freeman. A monumental struggle to start this series in the first 2 games. He's rolling now. A home run. Braves get 2, and it's 4-0. They went on the road with T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. You can enter to win your very own RV and tickets to every MLB stadium next season by texting Road Trip 595959. Oh, the giant bobbles. They're a little bit creepy. Don't look them in the eye.
Turn to stone.
A beautiful setting here. Dodger Stadium. But it is quiet right now because the Braves lead 4-0 in a day where it is a bullpen game for Atlanta. Their bullpen, Chavez and Smiley, have retired the first 6. Cody Bellinger's first trip to the plate. Popped him up, foul territory. That'll be on top of the dugout or in the seats.
You know, before this game started, you had to think that the Dodgers had a huge advantage in this game. The Braves had to name a last-minute starter. They had Urias, the 20-game winner, going out there. And now that the Braves have gotten up 4-0, Brian Snitker, I said it's going to be the hardest game he ever manages. He's got to sell out with that bullpen and somehow keep this lead.
And Smiley is a key to that here in this inning. Meanwhile, the Dodgers know you got to get some traffic on, like we saw in yesterday's game. It was a base hit, a walk. He started to get some activity, and then Bellinger popped the 3-run home run that tied the game, and a snatch him back for the Dodgers. One and 2 the count to Bellinger. Ground ball, shift is on, and there is out number 1. That was Riley over on the shift. A moment ago, Lauren had a chance to visit with Max Scherzer. Listen in.
Max, what's the biggest challenge changing roles, starting to relieving and back?
Oh, it's just a challenge on your arm. You know, we're so used to going out there and having a routine every 5 days, and but it's a playoffs. Like, you want to be in those situations. You want to be out there with the ball in your hand. So even though it's a challenge, you welcome it.
What do you see from Julio so far?
You know, he's just giving up some solo shots. So that's, you know, as bad as that is, you know, they're only 1 run at a time. So we're still within striking distance. We just need to go out there with a good offensive approach and just be able to go out there and scratch some runs across.
Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Guys, I think it's interesting. You heard Max Scherzer. It's kind of like that double-edged sword. You heard him. It's different because you're used to starting. You're used to going through a different routine. But, you heard the but. It's the postseason. I want the ball. But when is it too much? I guess that's the million-dollar question.
I was surprised to hear Max Scherzer say he had a dead arm as Taylor takes a strike. I mean, I'm not surprised that he had a dead arm. I'm surprised that he said he had a dead arm. He's a huge trade deadline acquisition for the Dodgers. He and Trey Turner. He had gotten his first ever save as a professional pitcher in Game 5 of that series against the Giants. They brought him back for Game 1, and it was a short stay. Taylor on the ground. Right there on the line is Riley. Got a strong arm, and he makes the play, and Taylor is retired. 8 straight set down by Drew Smiley.
I'll tell you, Ronnie, I don't think you're going to be able to get a ball down the line tonight. I mean,
nicely done, working from bottom to top with that backhand. And you see a lot more of him than I do, but I love his powerful arm.
Well, he's got a great arm, and that's the work with Ron Washington. Loves the backhand to go through the ball, and they say it helps him throw a strike across the diamond.
How about the space between the plays he just made? The one over on the shift to Bellinger. Here's Urias now. First ball swinging. Rosario went back. Now he comes in, and he makes the play. And Smiley with an 8-pitch third inning. Chavez and Smiley. 9 up, 9 down to start it for Atlanta on the mound. At Lone Depot, home means everything, and for every RBI during the NLCS, Lone Depot will be donating $1,000 to the Boys and Girls Clubs of America. That's on top of the over $500,000 they've already donated this year. Boy, what a sunset. Just a picture-perfect night in Southern California. Drew Smiley will bat for the Braves.
He's been so effective, he gets an at-bat.
6 up, 6 down. Brian Snitker told Lauren, maybe he's got a couple innings in him, but you're going to ride the hot hand right now. It's a 4-0 game. The Braves manager is talking to himself currently, and I'm sure he is deliberating on whether to give an at-bat or not. He's already used one bench player in Camargo. That was a pinch hit in the second inning. These games are fascinating. The bullpen games, they're starting to become my favorite games. Bouncing ball to second. I mean, it's a manager's delight, at least for us up here. So one away, Smiley retired. Hey, Thursday we're back with Game 5 of this NLCS. Braves and Dodgers from right here at Dodger Stadium. Coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. The postseason pregame show with the great Bob Costas, J-Roll, Curtis Granderson, and Pedro Martinez. Don't forget all postseason games also on ESPN Radio, and the full postseason schedule available at MLB.com.
What do you think they're talking about, Ronnie?
Well, he's like a de facto pitching coach. Max knows
right.
so much about pitching in the game. They're probably talking about their starting pitcher.
Back to the top of the order. Dansby Swanson takes a strike.
That fastball at 94, you're starting to see a little more life, I feel like, on that fastball, at least miles per hour wise.
His average during the season was a touch over 94. It's underneath that so far this evening.
Swanson 0 for 2. Both of his outs in the air. 4-0 Atlanta. Back-to-back homers in the second. Rosario and Duvall. Freeman homered in the third. And a 2-out RBI single by Peterson.
That's the 70th pitch there from Urias. This year in the postseason, starting pitchers are averaging 69 pitches per start. 69.
Hardly a blink. The prominence of the starting pitcher is being slowly diminished.
Think about, we were talking to Brian Snitker today, and he was talking, he's more of a traditional starter, would love 4 or 5 starters. And he even said it's starting to grow on me a little bit.
Yeah. Especially during the regular season, that extra day off, kind of floating in a bullpen day or a 6th starter, pitchers are responding. Only time will tell if it does prolong careers. But that's the idea. Smiley right now, huge developing story here as he has gone 2 scoreless and going back out for a 3rd inning. He'll have the top of the order when he returns to the mound. Swing and a miss. Urias strikes out Dansby Swanson for out number 2. And the first strikeout for Julio Urias. 2 up, 2 down. Let's send it down to Lauren.
Brian Snitker did say, I came up with the Braves. That's always how we operated, valuing starting pitching. Don't know anything different. He said every team operates how they can, but he said the flags flying in the outfield at Truist, all of those are flying because we had really good starting pitching.
He's a baseball lifer who grew up in the organization when they had 3 Hall of Famers starting every 5th day.
Here's Freddie Freeman now. 2 outs in the 4th. how impressive that Freddie Freeman could start this series 0 for 8. His first 7 at-bats were strikeouts. And had some bad body language, I think. I mean, looking at Freddie in game 2, it was eating at him a little bit, but the day off, the travel day, did him some good. He worked on a few things. And then he had 3 hits yesterday. And here tonight, a walk and a homer. The MVP from 2020 in the National League. 0-2 the count, Urias. And Freeman trying to shoot one to the opposite field.
Had to be tough coming off the high from the home run off Josh Hader to send your team into the NLCS and then strike out your first 7 at bats. And for someone that holds himself at a high standard.
Urias could use a quick inning. And a swing and a miss. He dropped out a little 3/4 there. Strikes out Freeman. 1, 2, 3 inning. Best inning of the night for Julio Urias. Stay tuned for a message brought to you by DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of MLB. Three solo home runs, Rosario, Duvall, and Freeman. Duvall's made a great catch as well in the center field position. Jock Peterson with a 2-out RBI, responsible for the 4th run. And Atlanta trying to flip the script tonight in a bullpen game. They lead 4-0 as Drew Smiley goes back to work. His 3rd inning. Mookie Betts, Corey Seager, and Trey Turner will start it for Los Angeles.
Smiley now with that 30th pitch, halfway there to what Brian Snitker said for Lauren Shahadi. We could maybe get 60 pitches out of Smiley this evening.
Betts in the air to left field. That'll hang up for Rosario. And there is out number 1. That's his 0 for 2. Smiley has retired 7 straight as we check in with Lauren Shahadi.
Well, Mookie and Cody Bellinger shared a media session after they both had big hits in Game 3, and questions kept coming in about what's made Cody so good in the postseason. And Mookie laughed and said, "Tell him, Cody, you drive a Benz too, as in you've been Rookie of the Year and MVP. Tell him who you are." The two very close.
That was a great interview last night. After the game, Lauren had Mookie Betts and Cody Bellinger there, and they were just, you could tell the relationship. There's a friendship there. There's a good bonding. You think about the Dodgers in this high payroll briefcase mentality, but it's a collection of players that they know they have a great team, and they are brand names, and they are the defending world champions, and there is an air of confidence with their ball club. They do support each other well.
I think the best thing about that interview is Cody Bellinger saying Mookie Betts is buying dinner.
He's
picking up the contract.
Picking up the tab. It's like Ron and Frenchie last night for our crew. Big leaguers pay. The big contract.
I didn't know that.
Seager grounded to second base in the 1st inning. Jesse Chavez started, retired the side in order. And Smiley just kind of pitching under that bat speed. That one rolls in there. The curveball at 79 miles an hour. The best place to be in this game is the underdog. Let's face it. And the Braves pitching staff certainly is. Ooh, that was close. Darno framed it, hoping to get a call.
There's a phrase that's used by ball players that occasionally you're facing a pitcher and that one moves down, who pitches under the radar. Yeah. Everyone's so used to so much velocity.
And Seager walks, trying to pick apart the bottom of that zone. That's the first blemish for Drew Smiley.
Well,
Dodgers
Ronnie,
with their first base runner of the night, Frenchie.
Sorry, B.A. Ronnie, you said it best. All the lefties that the Braves have thrown at the Dodgers, Freed, Matzik, Minter, 96, 97, 98. And this is a very different look than they're used to seeing.
Now Snitker has to be counting how much he can get out of Smiley.
Trey Turner. Turner takes a strike. Who is going to be next?
All hands on deck.
When the phone rings.
Ian Anderson down there.
He's down there too.
Surprising.
Yeah, Ian Anderson.
Only threw 2 innings in his start. Or 3 innings.
Thought to be the game 6 starter. Turner in the air to left field. Back on it, Rosario. That's going to hang up. He'll make the play for the out. 2-men are out. Turner got it down on the end of the bat a little bit.
Same thing Betts did, just out front a little bit and off the end of the bat.
Drew Smiley, Arkansas Razorback, having a huge moment in the postseason. If he gets it on the barrel, he probably knocks it out, but it was down on the end. And a routine fly ball for Rosario. Now it's Will Smith with 2 outs. This has been the guy for the Dodgers who has hit the big home runs when they've needed them.
When you think about the next 5, 6, 7 years of the Dodgers and the playoffs, this is to me the guy that's going to carry them into it. He's come onto the scene this year, hit .313 with over 1,000 OPS in the playoffs with his 3 home runs.
Hit 2 in the division series, and then he popped 1 in game 1. Smith has 10 hits in the postseason. 5 have been for extra bases. Dave Roberts starts to unveil some leadership teaching and coaching to Will Smith. And that's the next level. When you start getting that kind of advice and instruction, they're talking about a face of franchise type player in Will Smith as he takes a strike. Dodgers are desperate for a moment here. And Smiley trying to keep the chain moving. 2 outs, 4th inning. 2-2 the count on Smith.
On
Rick Kranitz. We should just keep a camera on Rick Kranitz. Every emotion and every thought just pouring out of him in every way. Two balls, 2 strikes. Seager, the runner at first.
Here the fans reminds me yesterday of those mid-innings where they're trying anything to get him going. Well, now they got a 3-2 count, and Seager will be off running.
Full count, 2 outs. There goes Seager, and a called strike 3. Bottom of the zone. He got the call this time. Smith in about face. Drew Smiley having his moment in the postseason. 3 scoreless innings. 4-0 Atlanta. 4 in the books in game 4. You're watching the 2021 National League Championship Series on TBS. It's presented by Loan Depot. To the 5th we go. Ozzie Albies will start it for Atlanta. Julio Urias back to work. Bouncing ball. Shift was on. Tough play. No play. Base hit. Right center. Ozzie Albies starts it with a single for Atlanta in the 5th.
You can see Urias kind of laughing, knowing that it was just a ground ball to second base, but with Trey Turner left of second base, that's all he had to do.
We've been talking about the humble approach by a lot of offenses, and here Albies trying to hit the ball to the right side. It was obvious, and Turner, even with all that speed, couldn't get there.
So a lead man on. Urias coming off his best inning, 3 up, 3 down frame with 2 Ks. And Austin Riley at the plate. 3rd time through the batting order now. Riley is 0 for 2, 2 ground outs. Not only did Riley have a huge game 1, had a game-tying homer, and then the walk-off single. In game 2, also had a game-tying double off the left center field fence. It was the Braves who had to snatch him back. And a comeback victory with Rosario's walk-off. And then the Dodgers last night in their final at-bat winning the game.
I thought Dave Roberts gave Austin Riley the ultimate compliment, saying, I knew this kid was a great offensive player. He said, what impressed me? The defense he's shown this year and how improved he is at third base.
Had a monster year at the plate. 303 average, 33 homers, 107 RBIs. Always looked like he was wanting to run. Scampers back to first base. 20 steals this year in 24 attempts. And then has one here in the postseason.
This is Urias' best move.
And another check on Albies. Base stealers are having remarkable success in the postseason, both leagues this year. 32 out of 34. And the stolen base is back in play in a major way. One ball, one strike to count. Swinging and a miss by Riley. 1 and 2.
The pitching's too good. It's too hard to put 3, 4, 5 hits together. So that's why the stolen base has come back in.
It seems right now, anytime we see Ozzie Albies or Mookie Betts on first, they're gone.
Rosario due next. Almost threw it away.
And Cody Bellinger almost pulled the college play on him, faking like he was thrown over his head.
The Miami Hurricanes.
He's laughing about
they're
it.
all laughing. Eric Young's laughing over there.
So watch. He fakes like he's running after it, and Eric Young Sr.'s like right there.
Strike
Strong
to
move.
pose. Big league first base coach. Riley pops it up. Shallow right center. Long run. Betts coming in. He'll make the play. Riley is 0 for 3. Urias gets a big out after a leadoff single. Eddie Rosario coming to the plate. Let's take a look at the DraftKings Sportsbook game odds for this one. Eddie Rosario home runs over under 1.5. So will he hit another one or not is the question. Rosario with an opposite field home run in the second inning and then a triple in the third. Halfway to the cycle with a single and a double remaining.
Say he had a cycle this year on 5 pitches.
In San Francisco this year, he had a cycle on 5 pitches.
Now that is an efficient cycle, a Jeff Francoeur cycle. And he swings at the first pitch. A base hit into right field for Rosario. Albies will turn and go to third. It's a single for Rosario. He is a double away from the cycle. 3 hits tonight. And the Braves are cooking once again. Runners at the corners and 1 away.
Sometimes it doesn't matter what you throw someone. They're so locked in.
Gets this off the end of the bat.
Yep.
So didn't cover it, but just drops it in front of Mookie Betts in right field.
Talk about staying hot. He's reached base in 10 of his last 12 plate appearances.
4-hit game in game 2. 3-hit game tonight in game 4. Eddie Rosario.
9 for 15 in the series.
Oh. And here is Adam Duvall. Well, the Dodgers are in the danger zone right now. Their starter Julio Urias on the ropes. 5th inning. 4-0 game. And Duvall, who has delivered at the plate with a homer and a walk, also took one back. Close to being a home run. I don't know if it would have gone out off the bat of Lux, but it was close.
We saw Brian Snitker earlier in the series take out Ian Anderson after 3 innings. Says he didn't feel his pitcher was effective. Dave Roberts with the opposite strategy here with Urias.
And remember, the Dodgers have a bullpen game looming tomorrow. They don't come back around to their starters until game 6 if we get there. That would be Scherzer in Atlanta, and then Buehler for game 7 in Atlanta if it goes there.
He might have thought about the pen, but all of a sudden in the 4th inning at the end with Swanson and Freeman, struck them both out, and you thought, okay, maybe he's turning the corner.
Steadied the ship, right?
Swing moment right here. We're in the 5th, and Duvall takes a ball. 2-1 the count. This guy's been one of the biggest home run hitters. 38 this year. Since the start of the 2016 season, so the last 5 years, 8th most homers in the National League.
Mark Pryor on the phone. Remember, Duvall hit a fastball out for that home run. Probably gets a changeup here on the 2-1 count.
A.J. Minter getting ready in the Atlanta bullpen. It's different with a lead. And Minter throwing in the bullpen right now is the indicator of that. Runners at the corners. Duvall, little jam shot, fly ball into center field. Lutz comes in. He's got a great arm. Rosario can fly. Or Albies, I beg your pardon. He scores. Rosario scampers back to first. Another run is in. Ozzie Albies scores run number 5 for Atlanta. Sac fly and an RBI from Adam Duvall. Rosario caught my eye because he was at first tagging, started, then stopped, and was in no man's land between first and second.
Well, big league at bat right here. Hits a home run earlier, Ronnie. You talk about tack-on runs in the playoffs. Ozzie Albies, great speed. And you said it, B.A. Look, he's caught, but no one's at first.
Oh.
In the division series, the Braves ran into an out with first and third, with Duvall got tagged out at second, trying to tag up as well as the runner on third.
Bill Bickford getting ready in the Dodger bullpen. 2 men are out. Here is Jock Peterson now. 5-0 Atlanta. An add-on run in this 5th inning.
It's like death by 1,000 cuts here by the offense of Atlanta.
Yeah. Jock Peterson had a 2-out RBI single in the 3rd. And a strike.
And it's crazy to think you talked about Eddie Rosario, a trade deadline acquisition pretty much for nothing from the Cleveland Indians.
You're acquiring a player that couldn't play for you because he was injured.
Yes. Abdominal injury. Impact player in this postseason, though. Peterson shows bunt. The shift was on, and Peterson, seeing all that green grass on the left side of the infield, at least got him thinking about it. I don't know if they'll change their approach, but he's got him thinking. Dave Roberts says, "I dare you, Jock." 2 outs.
I wouldn't dare Jock Peterson
to do anything
in any way.
Good point. He swings away this time, fouls it off. Jock Peterson's father, Stu, played 8 major league games for the Dodgers back in 1985. Had 5 plate appearances. He was a longtime minor league player. He went through the trials of the minor leagues, over 1,200 games down there. His son, not only a star in the big leagues, but a postseason star as well, a guy who delivers in the clutch. And there's not a player in the National League that has more RBIs in the postseason than Jock Peterson right now.
Think the pearls come off after the season, or does he rock them all off season?
They come off and he hangs them on
in a museum
or on somebody's mailbox.
Yes, that's right.
There goes the runner, Rosario. Peterson swings and fouls it away. Is Jock Peterson just driving around hanging pearls around the mailboxes of all the former famous Atlanta Braves? Chipper Jones and Brian McCann and Jeff Francoeur.
Yeah, thanks.
Frenchie, I know you're in a gated community.
Yes. One and 2 to count.
I'm on a golf course, I'll say that.
This crowd, they're trying to help Urias. Heart's not in it, though. A swing and a miss. Peterson strikes out. Urias picks up the K. However, the Braves add 1 to the tally. 5-0 Atlanta. We go to the bottom of the 5th.
The MLB postseason on TBS is brought to you by Loan Depot. Home means everything. And by Progressive Insurance. Saving you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. Visit Progressive.com.
There's nothing like a good mariachi band. The house band here at Dodger Stadium. The stars of the postseason. These guys are awesome. 5-0 Atlanta. Here we go. Drew Smiley back on the mound. We start the bottom of the 5th inning. Gavin Lux leading off. Justin Turner and then Cody Bellinger. 5 runs on 8 hits for Atlanta. And Chavez and Smiley have held the Dodgers hitless through the first 4 innings. Been just one blemish. That was a 1-out walk to Corey Seager last inning. Smiley picked up his first strikeout to end the inning and a backwards K of Will Smith. It's a huge story developing here for Atlanta.
Smiley was knocked out of the rotation after his start on August 30th. Gave up 5 earned runs, 89 pitches, and 4 2/3 innings against the Los Angeles Dodgers. Here,
Martin is ready in the bullpen, but Snitker certainly ride the left arm of Drew Smiley. If Smiley finishes this inning, it'll be the first time he's pitched more than 4 innings since that game you're talking about, Ron, back on August 30th. All relief appearances, his last 6 outings of the regular season. And this is a relief appearance, but the phrase in baseball is the bulk pitcher, and I'm not sure Brian Snitker had Smiley with the notion of a bulk pitcher, but here he is pitching in his 4th inning now after Jesse Chavez started the game. 3-2.
you see the pitch usage for Smiley coming into this inning. 15% 4-seam fastballs. You don't see that number ever.
And a ton of curveballs. Just that slow looping curve. A swing and a foul. He just got a piece of it. That was a curveball from Smiley.
We can see just like the right-handed hitters out in front, same thing with the left-handed hitter.
Rick Granitz, Brian Snitker going through it. Here's a 3-2. And they're not talking about this sequence with Lux. And probably not even Justin Turner coming up next. They're looking down the road. You wonder how long. I can watch Rick Granitz all day.
Well, you look, Chris Taylor's coming up 4th this inning, and I think you start to look there. If you get a guy or 2 on, maybe Martin for Chris Taylor.
Decision has been made. Granitz on the bullpen phone. 9th pitch coming to Lux, and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Drew Smiley tells his pitching coach to sit him back down out there in the bullpen. Strikes out Lux. Back-to-back Ks now for Smiley.
Again, that little knuckle curve that he throws, and he just kept taking a little more and a little more off until Lux got so far ahead of it.
So Smiley will face Justin Turner now.
Turner had some good swings the first time he faced Smiley.
Turner grounded to second base, and he shoots out into right field. Shortened up the swing. Dodgers need base runners, and Justin Turner gives them one here with 1 out in the 5th.
No, you said it, Ronnie. Last time he had a good AB. He was trying to shoot it that way. This time he got the pitch to do it, to get the first hit for the Dodgers here in the 5th.
Racking up his 83rd postseason hit. Tied for 14th all time. He's tied with Tino Martinez. He's been a prime-time postseason performer, Justin Turner. And now he's aboard for Cody Bellinger. Five 5-0 Braves. Bellinger bats with 1 out in the 5th. And timeout is asked for and granted. See the shift on. Keep Riley on the left side with a man at first base. Bellinger shoots one into left center. A base hit. Rosario cuts it off. Turner on his way to third. Cody Bellinger with a single. Back-to-back hits. Dodgers with 2 on at the corners and 1 away. And that'll be it for Drew Smyly. Snitker makes a call to the pen.
It seems like every time the Dodgers need a big hit, it's Cody Bellinger stepping up to the plate and again gets this crowd involved a little bit. But you got to say, heck of a job by Drew Smyly for the Atlanta Braves. They got more than they could have ever asked from him.
10 outs from Smyly.
He'll get a lot of love in that Braves dugout as he enters. As Brian Snitker, the Braves skipper, makes a call to the bullpen. 5th inning. Dodgers have 2 on in a 5-0 game. Smyly is out. We'll set up the new hurler for Atlanta when we continue.
At the office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent.
DraftKings is the best place to get in on the MLB action with daily fantasy, sports betting, and free-to-play pools. All postseason play in free late-inning pools for a swing at over $50,000 in prizes. Use promo code HEAT when you sign up today. Wheels in motion now. It's a 5-0 Atlanta lead. We're in the 5th inning. But, Ronnie, the Dodgers have him at the corners, and Brian Snitker is going to call on Chris Martin out of the Atlanta bullpen.
Well, he appeared in 46 games, so what's interesting, he only inherited 3 runners. So he's a guy that they would like to use to start an inning. But you have to have him come in here now. And he pitched game 2 and had a clean inning. Pitched a couple of innings at the end of the season, so they could ask him for multiple innings as well.
Used him in that fashion at the end of the season just to get him ready for a potential multi-inning outing. Now facing Chris Taylor. Pitcher spot due next for LA. A.J. Pollock has already moved on deck. This is the Dodgers moment right now. And on the first pitch, a fly ball shallow right. Peterson a long way to go. He'll make the play. No tag by Justin Turner. 2 outs in the inning, and on the first pitch, Chris Martin disposes of Chris Taylor. And it'll be A.J. Pollock off the Dodger bench. Urias is out, giving up 5 runs in 5 innings.
If you're Chris Martin, you would have traded a fly ball for a run in that scenario. Out for a run to stop the bleeding. Now you have a chance, if you can make a pitch, get out with anything.
Get greedy.
Yeah, absolutely.
Shift is on. And they'll soften that shift with Albies going back on the other side with Pollock. He slapped a couple of base hits over there in this postseason. There goes the runner, Bellinger, and Darno will let him run. It's a strike. So Bellinger steals second base. Now a base hit. Could deliver 2 for LA. Darno and the Braves don't even bother. Bellinger got a huge jump.
It's one of the reasons they like to bring Martin in to start innings, because he's extremely slow and deliberate to the plate.
A.J. Minter loosening in the Braves bullpen. Top of the order coming up next. No balls and a strike on A.J. Pollock. And that one's inside.
For the last 2 years, Chris Martin was a huge part of that Braves bullpen. A guy that they relied on a lot. This year, not as great of a year. Got left off the NLDS roster.
I don't like that play, though, by Atlanta. Not trying to defend the steal at all.
Pollock could deliver 2 here. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pollock, right side, through, base hit. In to score, Turner. Bellinger is in, and a 2 RBI single. A.J. Pollock, and the Dodgers are on the board.
Ronnie, I couldn't agree with you more. You gave them an extra base. And all it took was one hit. See the cutter going away. And if there's one guy on their team that will use all fields, it's A.J. Pollock, and he gets the big hit to get life back in the stadium.
3 hitters in this inning trying to use the right side. Turner with a single, Pollock with a single and 2 RBIs. Taylor tried as well, just did not hit the ball deep enough to right field.
Saw the Braves soften their shift. They put Albies back on the right side. It's almost like Pollock, he knew exactly where he was, and he serves it into right. Drives in a pair. That's a huge hit. And Pollock coming off the bench. A 2 RBI single, a 5-2 game now.
I agree. You hold Bellinger on there. All that is 1 run instead of 2. And now you got to believe Pollock is thinking the same thing.
Mookie Betts on the ground. Big hop for Albies. And the inning is over. So 2 score. 2 inherited runners come in. But Martin gets out of it. It's a 5-2 game after 5 in game 4. A.J. Pollock delivered a big hit yesterday in front of the Bellinger 3-run homer, and he drives in a pair. He stays in. That moves Taylor to center field. Gavin Lux is out. Ronnie, Dodgers have a new pitcher, Phil Bickford, as we go to the 6th.
Bickford has seen a lot of time in the postseason. Pitched in yesterday's ball game. Got a couple of outs, gave up a couple of hits.
Ground ball pitcher. 5-2 Atlanta. Braves got 2 in the 2nd. Back-to-back solo homers by Rosario and Duvall. Freeman hit a solo homer in the 3rd. 2-out RBI by Peterson, and then Duvall again with a sac fly. And d'Arnaud takes strike 1. Bottom of the order here. d'Arnaud, then a pinch hitter. Looks like Orlando Arcia has already moved on deck. So Martin is out, or will be out. And then to the top of the order, and Dansby Swanson. On the ground through, a base hit. d'Arnaud with a single to right. I meant to ask you guys on the Pollock base hit, is this a fast track at Dodger Stadium? That ball is jumping through the infield.
It's one of the fastest tracks in all of baseball. It shoots through the infield, and it's interesting. You're starting to see these hitters really kind of just shoot it the other way and get on base. If they're giving it to me, I'm going to take it.
I know Brian and I have always called it kind of the humble approach, but you know, early in the inning, just get on base. Base runners. Nice try by Turner here. Ball just beat him.
It was certainly barreled. It was 107 miles an hour off the bat. d'Arnaud reaches on a leadoff single. He's 2 out of 3 tonight. And Orlando Arcia, the pinch hitter. Don't know if it calls for a bunt here. Arcia does bunt well. That's part of his game. I mentioned this the last time we saw him in a pinch hit role in Atlanta. Arcia, as a Milwaukee Brewer, was a postseason star. I mean, this guy had some big moments in the postseason with Milwaukee.
He's got a lot of power.
No balls and a strike. Arcia to right. Lazy little fly ball. Betts is under it, and there is out number 1.
I was going to say, B.A., you might think about a bunt in that situation if there was anybody else on first, but Travis d'Arnaud.
Justin Brule. He's been excellent in this NLCS. The young lefty. He's preparing for the left-handers, potentially Freeman. Top of the order now, Swanson. Freeman due next. 1 away in the 6th inning. Three infielders on the left side for Swanson. He struck out his last time up. He is 0 for 3. His other outs in the air off Urias. Dodger infielders know with Bickford on the mound, they've got to be on top of their game. They're going to be busy. There's a lot of ground balls when Bickford is right. excellent infield. A.J. Minter continues to loosen up in the Atlanta bullpen. One ball, one strike. Runner at first, Darno. And a swing and a miss. Braves lost their leadoff hitter, Jorge Soler. He's out with COVID in the COVID protocols right now. Unsure whether he'll be able to make it back by the end of this LCS. There's a great chance if the Braves advance to the World Series that he would be back. But that's put Swanson and Rosario in the leadoff spots. Bit of a leadoff platoon there. Just the 4th time Swanson has hit in the #1 position this year.
Yeah, as the series goes on, or if they're able to make it to the World Series, that's kind of the age-old question. Soler did nothing to lose his job. Obviously got, but the way Rosario and Jock Peterson are swinging the bat, how do you take them out?
How do you? As good as Peterson has been off the bench even in the postseason, but that'll be a decision to make. They're hoping they have a chance to make that decision. Most likely that would mean they're in the World Series, Atlanta. 1-2 the count. Swanson hanging tough. Bickford. And another foul.
Everything away from Swanson by Bickford. Fastball and sliders.
Yeah, well, you look at the shift. You've seen the last 2 now. He's trying the humble approach, it seems, to shoot it. You see where Trey Turner is. He's got about 100 feet there to try to poke the ball through.
We've seen teams soften their shifts in the postseason. The Braves just did last inning. Dodgers are not taking that approach. Do it again. Another 1-2 pitch. Oh, Swanson in a battle up there. Two-pitch pitcher, Bickford. Fastball, slider. Pitch number 7 coming.
I guess he's going to throw a slider here.
Is he staying on pattern? That's the question. Alternating fastballs and sliders. Will Smith wants a slider. 1-2 now. And skips in. Nice pick back there by Smith.
Seen this a few times from Will Smith with that left knee down, just picking it like an infielder. Dangerous to do that, but he's been awfully good at it.
Does that mean the fastball is coming now, Frenchie?
I can
if
tell
you're hitting,
I mean,
he's selling out for it. No, he shook it off. Wants a slider. First time he'll double up on a pitch. 2-2 the count. And Swanson strikes out. Bickford was convicted. Shook off his catcher. Went to his slider, and a big strikeout here for out number 2.
Well, Bickford totally missed his spot. Ended up working out perfect for him. Everything was away, and it backed up. And you can see Swanson swing right through it.
Well, Smith is going to go out to talk to Bickford. You would think that Dave Roberts has to think about bringing in Brule to maybe face Freeman, but it's going to be pitching coach Mark Pryor who comes out.
Yeah, which will mean it'll be Freeman against Bickford. Gives us a chance to remind you that Play Ball is baseball and softball's initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play the game for all. Find a league near you. Go to playball.org. Follow @playball on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Because the Dodgers have a bullpen game tomorrow, does Dave Roberts want to extend some of these pitchers so he'll have something left for tomorrow?
Fascinating the way it unravels.
Don't like this matchup, though, for the Dodgers or for Bickford.
And we'll see how aggressive Bickford will be against Freddie Freeman. 5-2 Atlanta. We play in the 6th. Braves have 9 hits. D'Arnaud, the runner at first, with the 9th hit that led off this 6th inning. 3 infielders on the right. Freeman takes a strike. He went right at him with a fastball.
Thing I can think of that Dave Roberts is trying to do, maybe trust a guy with a little more experience now that Freddie Freeman's kind of swinging the bat like Freddie Freeman.
Freeman homering in the 3rd. Walked his first time up. So Freeman had a 5 at-bat window going back to yesterday where he had 4 hits in 5 tries and a walk. Had a very slow start to the year and then rallied. On the ground, Justin Turner will flip it to Seager, and the side is retired. The gamble pays off for Dave Roberts. Bickford gets through Freeman. To the bottom of the 6th we go. Dodgers coming up 5-2 Atlanta.
The MLB postseason on TBS is brought to you by Geico. Happy Geico-ween. Switch to Geico for more ways to save.
Full moon is out. It's a beautiful night. Southern California. Dodger Stadium, Los Angeles. Game 4 of the National League Championship Series. And it's 5-2 Atlanta. Braves lead 2-1 in this best of 7. Dodgers had a thrilling comeback win yesterday. But Atlanta has flipped the script here tonight with their bullpen game. And A.J. Minter, the next out of that bullpen. Seager, half swing, and he goes. Strike 1.
Minter pitched in yesterday's game, a clean inning with a couple of strikeouts. See his numbers from the season.
If you're the Braves, Frenchie, you've survived through 5 innings and you have a lead, which now allows Brian Snitker to go where he wants to go in his bullpen.
Yeah, and I think yesterday, same score at this point, but you got the 3-run lead. You know, it's tough not to think, if you're Brian Snitker, you got to go for Minter, Matzek, Jackson, and Smith. It's what you've done all year.
No balls, 2 strikes on Corey Seager. Seager tonight walked in the 4th. Grounded to second base in the 1st inning. He's 0 for 1. At back-to-back games where he hit 2-run home runs in the 1st inning. Game 2 and Game 3 yesterday. Popped him up. Swanson is back in the grass. And Duvall calling now, and they come together, and Swanson makes the catch. You could see Duvall shouting out, but Swanson was there. Maybe took a shot to the back of the head for his efforts, but out number 1.
You see the ball coming hard in. And usually that's an outfielder's ball if he's calling him off. I know it's tough because Swanson gets back so loud, but it's, you know, it's loud in here too. 53,000 fans. Right. Sometimes it's tough to communicate, to hear.
Out number 1. And now Trey Turner.
You could see from our vantage point that Duvall was yelling the entire time. He can't hear though, Swanson says.
And you saw Duvall, that glove hit the back of Swanson's head.
No balls and a strike. 0-2 the count on Turner.
Minter was recalled from the minor leagues on August 10th. Made 22 appearances, 19 of them scoreless.
Now thinking along too, if Brian Snitker wanted to, you could almost run Minter for 2 innings, and then Matzek and Smith if you want to throw the left-handers at the Dodgers.
It's almost like you're pitching until you're not effective.
Yeah.
Dave Roberts said we need to stay away from the left-handers, which meant his offense needs to give him a lead. That was the plan to start the game. We need an early lead. We talked about everything. Urias, we talked about the bullpen game tomorrow. Dave Roberts very succinctly. We need to get a lead. Our offense needs to deliver a lead so we can play from in front and dictate the matchups we want. That has not happened tonight. This bullpen game has worked out well for Atlanta thus far. Mentor deals a 1-2. Turner pops it foul and out of play.
You think about this Dodgers offense. To me, they hammer right-handed pitching. You think about Luke Jackson yesterday. You think about the different things they've done. Go back to the NLDS that y'all called. Alex Wood, very effective against the Dodgers.
Yeah, right here at Dodger Stadium.
Still, if you're the Braves, you still have to get 11 outs.
And Brian Snitker did drop that little morsel that Will Smith probably good to go across a couple of innings if need be. He did not rule that out.
He did drop that in there on us
today.
today.
He goes fast. Between the three of us, we try to remember everything. Lauren's usually the one who remembers everything.
Well, he wants to talk to Lauren more than he wants to talk to us.
That's a given for everyone. 1-2 now on Trey Turner. And down he goes. Mentor strikes him out. A changeup secured at first base. And 2 men are out in the Dodgers sixth as we hear from Lauren Shahadi. What do you have, Lauren?
Yeah, over here by the Dodgers dugout, a lot going on. Justin Turner watching previous at-bats on the iPad. David Price clapping, saying we got this. And Albert Pujols yelling, I don't want to go home yet, has a bat in hand on deck.
There is some tension, no question. Last year, the Dodgers were down 2-0 and then 3-1 to the Braves. They came back. They won that NLCS in Arlington, Texas, and would go on to win the World Series. And the Braves have heard that for a calendar year now almost. Dodgers with a huge comeback in yesterday's game. Otherwise, it's a different story as Smith, a cut and a miss. Tony Gonsolin getting ready in the Dodger pen. This score with the Dodgers down 3 also changes Dave Roberts' pitching plan as well.
We talk about last year's series, guys, and the Dodgers came back in game 3 and smoked the Braves, scored 11 runs. You would think, okay, here it goes. Drew Smyly, kind of an unsung hero. Last year, Bryce Wilson, now with the Pirates, a former Brave, 6 innings of 1 hit, 1 earned run in that game 4 start.
You never know. You never know who's going to deliver in the big moments. 1-1. Swing and a miss.
And that gave the Braves a 3-1 edge, and you're thinking, boy, they're going to move on. Not so fast. Dodgers win 3 in a row.
This series can turn on a dime. Mentor is nasty right now. His stuff is electric. That was a cut fastball. Got an awkward swing out of Will Smith. See what he does here. 1-2 the count. Skips it in. Went back to that cutter. He throws that cut fastball in the low 90s, but we saw him reach back, hit 96, 97 yesterday.
He's always had a great arm. His problem after his rookie season, he couldn't find the strike zone. And that's why he ended up in the minor leagues.
Two outs. Here's a 2-2. Bouncing ball over to third. Riley scoops it, throws it, and just in time to get Will Smith. Nice play by Austin Riley. And a 3-up, 3-down inning for A.J. Mentor. He continues to impress. Riley D, rock solid. Takes care of Smith to win the frame. We go to the 7th, 5-2 Atlanta. Game 4, National League Championship Series on TBS. It's presented by Loan Depot. The Atlanta Braves jump out early. 3 home runs tonight, all solo shots. They led 5-0, but then A.J. Pollock delivers a 2 RBI single. That was in the 5th. It came with 2 outs. And it is 5-2 Braves. Now we go to the 7th. Ozzie Albies will start it for Atlanta. Phil Bickford back on the mound for Los Angeles. Bickford got through the 6th inning, gave up a leadoff single, then retired the next 3. And the Dodgers able to keep Albies off the left side, which is the preferred side for the opponent. Albies singled and scored in the 5th. He's 1 out of 3. Defensive swing twice. 0-2 the count. Albies is hitting 7 consecutive games. Hitting for a .310 average. Has 9 hits across those 7 games. Just lays the bat on one. Fly ball to center. Taylor is there for out number 1. Stuck with the 4-seam fastball, did Bickford.
He never really picked up that fastball well. You saw the first pitch, as you said, BA. Second pitch was defensive, and then that one just kind of threw the bat out.
Yeah. These are all valuable outs for the Dodgers, getting outs from pitchers like Bickford. While the Braves are deep into their bullpen game. Austin Riley with 1 away in the 7th.
Saying hi to Austin Riley today. You don't realize how big this young man is. Reminds me a little bit of Troy Gloss.
Yep, that's been a lot of comparisons you've heard. Big old strong country boy from Mississippi.
He's 24 years of age. Riley 6'3", 240. First year with Atlanta was 2019. Played all over. Settled in as the third baseman. Played in 160 games this year. Tied for the major league lead in games played. And responded with a 33 homer, 107 RBI season. In the air to left field. Back on it is Pollock. Riley missed it by a click on the bat. And a fly ball out. 2 up, 2 down for Phil Bickford. And Dave Roberts is on his way out to make a pitching change with Eddie Rosario coming up.
See Austin Riley drop his head. He knew he got a hanging slider to hit and just got it off the end of the bat.
So Bickford does a nice job. He gives him 5 outs. He will exit with the bases clean. And the red hot Rosario, who is a double away from a cycle, is coming up. Brule will face him. Lefty-lefty matchup when we come back. 2 outs here in the 7th. He's got a special night going thus far. He is a double away from the cycle. Ronnie, we were here for the last and only cycle in the postseason. Brock Holt of the Red Sox in the American League Division Series against the New York Yankees.
The game ended up being a rout, 16-1. And Holt hit his home run to complete the cycle off Austin Romine, the backup catcher.
Position player pitched for the first time. That was October 8th of 2018. That's the lone cycle in the postseason. Rosario might get a couple of cracks at it here. His first hit was a homer, opposite field smash that put the Braves on the board first. Then he tripled, and then he singled his last time up. Justin Brule on the mound for Los Angeles with 2 outs in the 7th.
Both sides now getting a lot of their relievers are starting to pitch on multiple days. Bickford back yesterday and today, and Brule the same.
And game 5 tomorrow. No day off. Next day off will be between 5 and 6 as Rosario fouls it back. You asked Frenchie about Rosario's cycle earlier this year. 4 hits, a cycle on 5 pitches against the Giants in San Francisco. Wasting no time.
So 5 pitches, that's incredible.
And a single for his last one. Needs a double now. Brule wants no part of that. Dave Roberts gone with the matchup here, knowing that Rosario has plenty of pop. to add to this lead. Rosario has 11 hits against the Dodgers this year. He's 11 for 21. Whatever the book is, it's not working for Los Angeles. A strike from Brule.
Well, you get 3 sliders in a row as a hitter. You just sit there and you look for it. And good pitch. He gave him a sinker at 91 on the inner half.
Got him. There will be no cycle this inning. Brule with a strikeout. Inning is over. Stretch time at Dodger Stadium in Game 4. 5-2 Atlanta. Time for the Geico game summary. Game 4. It is 5-2. Braves jumped out early. Had a 5-0 lead until A.J. Pollock delivered with a 2-out, 2 RBI single in the 5th. Every game in this series has come down to the final at-bat. There have been 2 walk-offs. Bellinger's 3-run blast and Mookie Betts' go-ahead double yesterday. Albert Pujols will lead off. He'll pinch hit. Mentor back on the mound for Atlanta. And Pujols takes the strike. Albert's been waiting for his moment here in the LCS.
10 home runs career for Albert in the NLCS.
Faced Mentor yesterday in the 6th inning. Mentor got him on a cutter for strike 3.
No balls and a strike to count to the 3-time MVP. And he sends one to left field on a line. It's down, a base hit. Albert Pujols. Remember Lauren's report. Pujols was the one vocal in the dugout, saying we're not dead yet, not ready to go home yet. Stalking with a bat. And he comes up and delivers a hit to start the inning. A pinch runner for him. And a big ovation as he exits. Dodgers have their first leadoff man to reach base today.
The Braves had 6 outs to get last night, couldn't get them. 9 outs they've got to get tonight. Cool, the same score.
And cool moment there.
Yeah.
Albert Pujols, Freddie Freeman, a little pat on the back. One of the maybe the greatest first basemen.
Walker Buehler will pinch run for Pujols. All hands on deck. Here is Justin Turner, and he takes a ball down and in. Where does Brian Snitker go next? Luke Jackson now getting ready. Braves have 9 outs. You start counting outs. How many outs can pitchers give? Don't think of it in innings. 3-run lead. Mentor misses.
Can't believe that Jackson's getting up for Bellinger. I'll tell you that, 2 hitters away.
I got to believe, even if Mentor walks, Turner here,
yeah,
Bellinger's his Mentor. And then after that, you see the righty for Taylor.
Swing and a miss. Mentor with that cut fastball had Turner out in front. 2 balls and a strike on Justin Turner.
Still on the side of the baseball, kind of a backdoor cutter for Minter.
Had an inning yesterday. Coming back for his 2nd inning here tonight. High stress innings. Late in games with a lead. And a swing and a miss. Turner again out in front over the top of that cut fastball by Mentor.
Ron, what's the biggest challenge for a pitcher coming back out for a 2nd inning?
Well, I think for relievers, they don't do it as often. Minter, of course, last year in the postseason did it. Had a brilliant 3-inning relief effort. But really, it's the sit down and warming up again because they just don't do it a lot.
Yeah. Nobody out. Runner at first. Walker Buehler pinch running for Pujols. On the ground, got a chance at turn 2 here. It'll be Albies by himself, and a double play, and Turner is hurt. Turner has been playing with a bad hamstring, and I think it got him right there. He pulled up about 3/4 of the way up the line, And we might have seen the last of Justin Turner in this NLCS. And 53,000 at Dodger Stadium go into a hush.
I mean, the shift gets him. The ball right to Albies. Easy play for him. And halfway down the line, that hamstring tugged. You know, of course, Turner's trying to do all he can do to beat that out.
And there's nothing. When that thing goes, there's nothing you can do.
It's tough to watch. Yeah. He's been a great one. And he's been trying to gut it out. A hamstring injury, a neck injury. And Justin Turner will exit this game.
And you know, when you have these kind of injuries, a veteran player can sometimes play around them, but nobody in that circumstance right there is not going 110% down the line.
Well, and you can play with a sore neck. You can't play with a hammy like that.
He's 36 years of age. He had a great year. He was an all-star this year. And the reality setting in here, he knows he's done.
I mean, look at the pain he's in. They're missing.
You said it best, BA. As a player, you know, and he knows right now. And that's what that look is on his face.
I love the fact Albert Pujols is walking down there with him. So here we go. 2 outs, nobody on. A key double play there for Mentor. And he faces Cody Bellinger now. And on the first pitch, cracks one to center field. Well hit. And right there is Duvall. Bellinger hit it like a bullet. It's a 3-batter inning when it's all said and done. Mentor gives up a single, then a double play and a line out. 5-2 Atlanta after 7. So with the Justin Turner injury, Steven Souza Jr. will enter the game in right field. That moves Mookie Betts to center field, which moves Chris Taylor to third base. Taylor started in left, went to center, now at third base. And Tony Gonsolin on the mound for Los Angeles. We go to the 8th inning, just like we did yesterday. It's a 5-2 Atlanta lead.
And interesting for tomorrow's game, he could have been one of those guys who would be used as the bulk pitcher in a bullpen game for the Dodgers tomorrow, but now in here for the 8th.
Adam Duvall will start it for Atlanta. Duvall's had a great night. Homer in the second. That was the second of back-to-back for the Braves, Rosario and Duvall. He walked in the third. He had a sacrifice fly and an RBI for an insurance run in the 5th. And had a great catch in center field up on the wall. Right off the end of the bat. Bellinger's the only infielder over there. And there is out number 1. Hey, don't forget you can follow all the action of the postseason with the MLB app. From real-time tracking of every pitch to in-depth analysis. Download the MLB app today to make this postseason major. Matzik, another lefty, takes 27 outs to get through a 9-inning game, and Brian Snitker is trying to get as many outs from left-handers as he can.
Well, and if Matzik comes into this ball game, it'll be his 8th game with 8 games in the postseason. Yeah. Appeared in every game.
Here's Jock Peterson. Right now, the man who is in the spotlight for Atlanta, and they put some runs on the board, but the unexpected success of Drew Smyly in this game. 3 1/3 with 2 runs. It was Martin who allowed those 2 inherited runners to score. But in a game where you are counting outs, for Drew Smyly to give him 10 was huge for Atlanta. Peterson showed bunt earlier tonight with that shift on. He cuts and misses here. It's 0-2.
Hey, you talk about the unexpected in the postseason. Tonight you come into this game with the 20-game winner. You figure you'll be talking him the whole time.
Yes.
And what happens? It's the guy who hasn't pitched yet this postseason.
Gonsolin has Peterson 0-2. Jock Peterson can produce some of the craziest foul balls you ever see. He just has a knack for putting the bat to the ball. Figure he'd be an excellent cricket player.
I thought you were going to say he had a knack for swinging really late. Sometimes.
Sometimes the catcher's interference play is not a bad one. Not for Peterson.
Now, we were down in the dugout before we talked to Brian Snitker today, and I was going through the bat rack and saw Jock's bats. He didn't take just one bat from Anthony Rizzo.
No.
I think he stole a dozen.
There's a whole pile down there. Never getting him back. He's got Rizzo's bat right now. Two and two the count. Bouncing ball out to Turner in the grass. And Peterson is retired. And Gonsolin on that split finger fastball. That's his signature pitch. There's the bat.
Maybe it's because of last night's game, but this game doesn't seem safe for the Braves unless they can punch another run or two across.
That's why when we talked at the time, Ron, just Adam Duvall's sac fly was so big. Just even one tack on run, putting the ball in play.
Darno, 2 hits tonight. He's 2 for 3.
That man knows it all too well from last night.
It's a calm presence, though. We saw Snitker after the game, talked to him again today. Some managers kind of get into the propaganda a little bit. No, we're good. The clubhouse was good and loose, but you know, you believe him because the way he pointed it out. He went specific examples. You know, we went through that last year. This is a much different ball club. There are some of the same pieces, but they believe they belong here. They're not an 88-win team, even though they are. 88 wins, the fewest wins among all of the division winners, the Atlanta Braves. But they're a different team now.
When we saw them last night, you wouldn't have known if they had won or lost the ball game.
You're right.
Can't fake that. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Well, I thought he made, some great points today after what we've been through this year. He said after what the Braves have been through with Ronald Acuna's injury, losing guys early in the season, being 500 for 4 months. He said we've been through a lot.
And on the flip side, Dave Roberts, and we've done a lot of playoff series with Dave Roberts, and he's an intense guy anyway, but I don't know about you, Ronnie. I feel like that intensity has ratcheted up a lot this entire postseason, and it started with the wild card game. There was a little bit of an edge that a team that won 106 games had to play in a 1-game win-or-go-home wild card game. In the air to center field, hit sharply, and unable to make the play is Betts. That hit him in the heel of the glove, I think. Darno will reach. Boy, and center field has been a Bermuda Triangle. That's going to be an error on Betts. Darno will reach with 2 outs. Gavin Lux says, I know the feeling, partner.
Well, ball seemed to dance a little bit. I was wondering if it was a knuckleball.
Well, look, it's one of those two. He kind of didn't know whether he needed to dive or he was going to be able to catch it with the glove up the other way. And he said it kind of cut and dived.
So he jumped right to his left at the end, and he had 2 hands on it. He just closed the glove too soon.
Yeah. So that extends the inning. Ahire Adrianza will pinch hit for Atlanta now. Their top bat off the bench. And on the first pitch, skies one to left. No damage. Hitting over. Gonsolin puts up a 0 in the 8th. Dodgers are down to their last 6 outs. Braves lead 2-1 in this series, up 5-2 in Game 4. tonight's base camp presented by T-Mobile, the leader in 5G coverage. Taking it down on the field at Dodger Stadium. Great images from base camp. Got another good one tonight. Game 4. These have all been intense battles. And Brian Snitker is going to stay left-handed. 5-2 Atlanta. Bottom of the 8th inning. Chris Taylor will lead off. And Matzik on the mound for the Braves.
Matzik was overpowering in yesterday's game.
First ball swinging. Taylor going to be close. Freeman is over. Coming back playable. Freeman is there. Out number 1. 1 pitch and 1 out for Tyler Matzik.
That's 2 at-bats in a row now. Taylor, last time up, flew out to right field on the first pitch. This time to Freddie Freeman.
And when you need base runners, sometimes in that instance, you'll see hitters take a pitch or take a strike. You see the numbers for Matzik. I know Will Smith's the closer, but he might be the most valuable player in that pitcher in that bullpen.
Well, look at those numbers on the bottom. 7 1/3 this postseason in 7 games. Now his 8th.
Workhorse. A.J. Pollock, his 2-out RBI single. He drove in 2. The lone runs on the board for the Dodgers. That came in the bottom of the 5th inning. He pinch hit in the 5th. And bats for the 2nd time. Send it down to Lawrence. He's got more on Tyler Matzik.
In 2019, BA, Walt Weiss was looking at a AA box score and saw the name Matzik, and Walt thought, that's odd. He hadn't seen Tyler in years. He was a 2009 first rounder, had anxiety and the yips, and he thought it was going to drive him out of the game. He said, the game has humbled me, and Walt Weiss said there were dark days for Matzik. Makes the success so much sweeter.
It is an incredible success story. Thanks, Lauren. And give him a lot of credit for fighting his way back.
And just think, if it wasn't for Walt Weiss, who was manager of the Colorado Rockies, would never know that name.
And then you talk about the mental toughness now. When you're out there in this situation with what he went through for 5 years, it's not that bad.
1 ball, 1 strike. Dodgers need base runners. 1 out. Pollock takes a ball. There's Walt Weiss. So a bullpen game, and the bench coach has been navigating through it with his manager all night. Braves bullpen picked up 3 innings last night after Charlie Morton went 5. 6 1/3 tonight. It started with Jesse Chavez. Through Smiley. Smiley got 10 outs. Went 3 1/3. Chris Martin, A.J. Minter, 2 scoreless innings, and now Matzik. And that's what's left. And if you're right-handed, it is unlikely you're getting in this game right now. And next up will be Smith. That is Will Smith, the Braves closer. That would be the goal right now for the Dodgers, to try to get Smith in this game in the 8th inning. That means traffic, though. Ground ball over to third base. Riley charges, makes the play. Gave himself an easy hop. 2 up, 2 down for Matzik here in the 8th.
No, good slider there, but what amazes me still what Tyler Matzik is doing. All this work, still throwing 97, 98.
We've talked about the size of Riley, his ability to not only have some quickness, but as a big fella, to be able to throw on the run. It's impressive. All the way back. Makes that play easily.
At 24 years of age, that's a guy that is going to be in the MVP conversation, it feels like, if he stays healthy for years. Mookie Betts now, 2 outs. A strike from Matzik. Hits with a slider. Quickly 0-2 on Betts.
I think it's interesting. You have 2 young players, guys. One for the Dodgers and Will Smith, one in the Braves and Austin Riley. Young players that had good years got better and better and better as the year goes on. And I think more than anything, confident that they believe they've arrived and they're all-stars.
Dodgers are running out of outs, Ronnie.
Yeah, 1 for 11 against Matzik in this NLCS.
2 outs, 8th inning. .98 with the fastball. And able to check his swing. Braves did their scoring early in a bullpen game today. Their starter, Oscar Noah, the scheduled starter, was a scratch. He injured his shoulder to start the game. We found out just a couple of hours before the game. So they had to go to Chavez. They replaced Noah with Dylan Lee on the roster, another lefty. It was already a difficult situation for the Braves, made worse with the fact that the guy who's supposed to start the game was not available. And a late scratch. And now off the NLCS roster is Noah, and unlikely to pitch again this year.
I mean, Noah came out before the game to play catch and told Snitker he couldn't go.
Said your career is too important. Shoulder injuries are tricky. They've navigated it to here, though. It's an incredible bullpen effort by the Braves. 1-2 the count. Matzik deals, and that one just missed. 98-mile-an-hour gas, and it did not miss by much.
Could have called this pitch inside, though. Home plate umpire James Hoy has had a exceptional game.
I was going to say, it's like anything. When you don't talk about him, you know he's had a great game.
Tip of the hat to him. He's been right on top of everything. This game 4 plate assignment for James Hoy. 2-2 the count. Mentioned Matzik's 8th consecutive appearance to start the playoff. That ties a major league record, by the way. Your old pal Jesse Orozco did it. That was 96 with Baltimore running. And then a couple of Royals in 2014. Wade Davis and Greg Holland.
Jesse Orozco could probably still get a left-hander out right now.
He'd have to face 3 batters now.
Well, might not be able to do that.
Bring him in with 2 outs. 2-2 the count. Do it again. Here he comes, and Betts lays off. Seager next. Dodgers are right where they want to be in the batting order, but there are 2 outs in this inning. From 0-2 to 3-2 to Mookie Betts. Still looking for his first homer of this LCS. 3-2 pitch and a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Matzik, a pump of the fist, strikes out Betts to end the inning. The left-hander holds serve, retires him in order, and we go to the 9th inning in Game 4 with the Braves up 5-2. 5-2, Braves lead it. We go to the 9th inning. Steal a base, steal a taco. It's back. Watch the World Series to see who will steal a base and win America a free Doritos Locos tacos from Taco Bell. Steal a base, steal a taco. It's only at Taco Bell. And who's it going to be from the National League in the World Series? Braves or Dodgers? 5-2 Atlanta, 9th inning. Braves up 2-1 in this best-of-7 series. And Dansby Swanson takes a strike from Gonsolin. Top of the Braves order. Swanson, Freeman, and Albies. Gonsolin, a scoreless 8th inning. On the ground, a hot one through for a base hit. Swanson with a 9th inning single to start it.
Ronnie, you said last inning, if you can try to push across a run here and really kind of put the dagger in.
That's right. Gets a hanging slider here this Swanson, and just hits a bullet to the left of Seager. Doesn't matter the shift when you hit the ball that hard.
Swanson's first hit, had 2 hits yesterday, and now 4 hits in the series. That brings up Freddie Freeman. Homered in the third, made it 3-0. Braves came out slugging tonight, knowing they're in a bullpen game. Frenchie, you mentioned it in the open as well. We talked a lot about the pitching scenario with the Braves, with Brian Snitker and others. And you kind of turned the page on that and said this is a game for the offense today. This is a game the offense has to carry the weight of this game with all of the relievers that we're going to be seeing for Atlanta.
Yeah, well, all year the Braves offense has been good. Since the Ronald Acuna injury back in July, they've scored the most runs in the NL, and that's what Brian Snitker kind of told us. I need my guys to slug.
Slug they did.
Hit 3 home runs today for the Braves. It's the 15th time they've done it. They're 14-0 going into this game.
Will Smith getting ready in the bullpen. Think about it. It helps Drew Smiley, who hadn't been on the mound in so long, to have that 4-run lead going out there.
He was calm and cool. He had a nice curveball. He pitched pretty today, you could say. He was under the hit speed. And he did a terrific job for Atlanta. That was the unexpected window for the Braves. Smiley giving them 3 1/3. Lead man on for Atlanta. Gonsolin giving up a leadoff single. Worked around an error last inning to put up a scoreless inning. If the Dodgers mount a 9th inning comeback, and we said the same yesterday with guys like Evan Phillips and company, but give a lot of credit to this grouping of pitchers of the Dodgers. Swanson takes off, pitches a ball, throw to second, safe. Close. Seager kept the tag on him. Swanson able to keep a hand on the bag. And this incredible run of successful steals continues. Dodgers will certainly want to look at this on replay. That was close.
He got a good jump. And he slides to the outside part of that bag, goes past it, and then grabbed it with his hand. But while his foot went past it, and he's off the bag, is he out there?
I think he is.
I think he is as well.
He's going to be right in the middle there when the foot's off and the hand's not on, right there.
Foot's in there, scrapes across the top of the bag, and now he has no control of the bag right now. Is the tag on?
He's out. Tag's on. They'll overturn this. It's not exactly Ken Herbeck, but it's a smart move by Seager to keep the tag on.
Yeah, let's see if that tag stays on. See, it comes off for a minute, too.
There was that area at about his waist where the glove was not
good call
on him. So it might be inconclusive, and they might stay with the safe
we're
call.
Looking at a lot of replays here. You know, the glove did leave the body of Swanson for a moment there as well.
Guys, for years I've tried to guess on this. I'm done.
I think that'll stay the safe call.
That last look there,
it came off for a split second.
And it's got to be conclusive, and we're giving you the same looks the umpires have here. Now they can stitch these replays together in the replay control room in Chelsea, New York. That's really going to be the question. Was the glove on it when his foot left the bag? He toggled back and forth, and don't know if
strength by Swanson to hold on to that bag.
And it's safe. So not enough evidence. I'm with you. That last angle really showed that. Great camera work. Our excellent crew getting right in there on these plays that could change the game. If he's called out on the field, it stays that way too.
I agree.
Yeah, absolutely.
35 stolen bases in the postseason for all teams. Only twice as a would-be base stealer been caught, and none in the National League. Gonsolin deals. Freeman down the right field line, hooks one. That is going to be a fair ball, and it bounces out, and this will produce a run. The automatic double by Freddie Freeman. The stolen base pays off, and the Braves with an insurance run here in the ninth. It is 6-2 Atlanta. And a demoralizing blow to add one on here in the ninth inning.
Well, Freddie just hooks that. You see those quick hands. Doesn't hit it hard, a little bit off the end of the bat, but right inside the line.
They try to group him defensively in the outfield, try to take away that right center field gap, so there's no chance for the right fielder to get there in time.
And that's the right play. You don't see Freddie Freeman go down that line too much.
Ozzie Albies, runner at second, Freeman. It takes Will Smith out of a save situation. That matters not to Will Smith, though. Yeah. He's coming on for the ninth. Swanson with the base hit, the stolen base. And Smith going to be tasked with the final 3 outs. The human roller coaster that is Will Smith. $53,000, a quiet. Many are heading to the exits. Dodgers had the lead rally in the 8th inning yesterday. Now down 4 here in the 9th. Still nobody out.
Yeah, Will Smith down there, he'll wait another 20 minutes. If he has to.
Of course. Score as many as you can.
Getting a head start on traffic. A lot of folks missed the comeback yesterday. Three 3-0 the count. And Gonsolin walks Albies on 4 pitches, 3 consecutive base runners. So 2 on now with nobody out. Don't forget, we're back tomorrow. Game 5 of the NLCS Braves Dodgers from right here at Dodger Stadium. Our coverage starts at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. Postseason pregame show with Bob Costas as the host. Jay Roll, Curtis Granderson, and Pedro Martinez. All postseason games also on ESPN Radio. Full postseason schedule available at MLB.com.
Max Fried talking to Travis d'Arnaud, starting a little early scouting report.
Fried pitched game 1, pitched well. It's a bullpen day for the Dodgers. And almost the same discussion we had before the game today is flip-flop tomorrow, with Dave Roberts going with his bullpen game and the Braves with their talented young lefty on the mound. Here's Austin Riley. Braves are going for the kill right now. They lead by 4. Still nobody out. Don't forget, Eddie Rosario is due next. He is a double away from the cycle. And barring a triple play here, he's going to get a chance.
Talked about the Braves needing to slug 11 hits, 5 extra base hits, and Freddie Freeman, after being 0 for 8 the first 2 games, 5 for 8 the last 2 with a home run and double.
Oh, 2 the count on Riley. And a called strike 3. Riley got caught guessing. Gonsolin with the slider to strike him out. First out of the inning.
After so many split fingers from Gonsolin, finally the high slider.
That one actually backed up a little bit on him too.
One away. And here is Rosario now. Homer, triple, single. Struck out his last time up. Needs a double for the second cycle in postseason history to join Brock Holt. Rosario had a 4-hit game that included a walk-off single in game 2. 3 hits tonight. And he got it all started for Atlanta. Opposite field home run in the 2nd inning. Off Julio Urias. The 1-0. 1 ball, 1 strike. The splitter.
Rosario doesn't get cheated.
No, I was about to say if he's going to get a double, it's a good chance it's going to be early in the count. We talked about cycle in San Fran on 5 pitches.
Gonsolin with his 31st pitch, pitching in his 2nd inning. In the air, right field, hit well, and this one is up and out. A home run for Rosario. A 3-run blast. It's not going to be a cycle, but he'll take that every day. Rosario with his 2nd homer. A 4-hit night. And the Braves bust it wide open here in the 9th inning. It's 9-2.
Look, you'd love a cycle. I'll take a 2-home-run game any day of the week.
How about 2 4-hit games in the first 4?
12 total bases on a splitter that hung up in the zone, and Rosario launches it into the Atlanta bullpen. What a night for Eddie Rosario. Oh. 9-2. The Braves with a 4-run 9th inning on 12 hits in this game.
You got Kike Hernandez in the American League, Eddie Rosario in the National League. Wow. Good call, Ron. 2 4-hit games.
Yeah. Do you pitch Smith now?
I was just about to ask you that, Ronnie. I mean, he kind of needs to get in the game. He could use an inning. I'd be very interested to see what they do.
But if you don't use him, you could have him for 2 innings tomorrow.
That's a good point. What does the warm-up
that's right.
involve?
He's hot
He's
now.
got to be hot.
Yeah.
You know, he's a workhorse type guy. I think you still got to bring him in.
Duvall, a swing and a miss. A strikeout for out number 2. Boy, Dodger Stadium could not be emptying out faster than it is right now. 9-2. Rosario still has his batting helmet on. He wants to hit right now.
Let me go again.
That's right. 2 4-hit games. Had a 4-hit game in game 2, including a walk-off, and 4 hits tonight. 12 total bases, 2 homers, a triple, and a single. Boy, you cannot overstate how incredible the Braves turnaround with their outfield situation. Braves opening day outfield: Marcell Ozuna, Christian Pache, and Ronald Acuna Jr. And Rosario was added. Duvall was added.
Yeah, he's got muscle.
Yeah, show those things. and BA, you're talking about, remember, Brian Snitker told us this is our 3rd line of the outfield.
That's right.
Like almost like a hockey shift.
Yeah, they had the line that kind of held the fort down while they made the changes. While they made the additions and went for the trades. Alex Anthopoulos spent time in the front office here with the Dodgers, working under Andrew Friedman. Got to give him a lot of credit. And now the Braves 3 outs away from a 3-1 series advantage, just like they had last year over the Dodgers.
So it works both ways, right?
Yeah.
They'll be extra careful because they know it can happen, and the Dodgers can take that with them and know that it can happen. They did it last year.
I asked Dave Roberts before the game, I said, before the 4-run inning in the 8th, what was your thought process? What was going through your mind as your hitters aren't swinging the bats well and the place is quiet? He goes, you know what? I was already preparing my speech about how you can come back from 3-0 down, because he would know.
That's right.
This is the anniversary of Game 7 of that 2004 ALCS Red Sox Yankees, when the Red Sox came back from 3-0 down.
He might have asked Pedro Martinez to come in and talk to us.
That's a good point. Swing and a miss. 3 Ks for Gonsolin, but a whole lot of damage mixed around those Ks. And Eddie Rosario, star performer in Game 2, the star performer in Game 4. It's 9-2 Atlanta. You're watching the 2021 National League Championship Series on TBS. It's presented by Loan Depot. Defensive changes. Braves lead 9-2. Guillermo Heredia in center field. That moves Duvall to right. I beg your pardon. Yeah, to right field.
Yes.
And Will Smith on the mound for the Atlanta Braves. Their closer.
Every time Smith has come in so far in the postseason, it's been a tight game. Not tonight. Got a 7-run lead. In the division series, had 3 saves. He was the winner of both Game 1 and Game 2.
Facing Corey Seager to start it. Braves score 4 times in the 9th inning. And a 9-2 lead here in the bottom of the 9th. 3 outs away from a 3-1 advantage, and a chance with 3 more outs to close out the Dodgers here tomorrow. And that man on the mound, they've got their best. Max Fried on full rest, ready to pitch game number 5. And the Dodgers are in a bullpen game tomorrow. They have used Corey Knebel as the opener in those scenarios. Game 5 of the division series, Game 1 of this NLCS.
It is always amazing to me, though, that teams with incredible payroll, teams with so many bullpen arms, can still get to a point their season could end without a starting pitcher.
Yep, great point. Seager on a hop. Freeman, the Gold Glover, will make the play for the out. Well, it certainly is up for discussion with Julio Urias. You know, the Dodgers left themselves open for a lot of criticism bringing Urias out of the bullpen in Game 2. That was not a popular move prior to. It certainly was not popular after the results came down. And yes, Urias was excellent out of the bullpen last year in the postseason. This year is a totally different season. He was a starter all year. He won 20 games, logged a ton of innings, most innings he's ever pitched. And he was not himself here tonight on the comeback.
He has been undefeated since June 21st.
I thought Max Scherzer's interview with Lauren said a lot when he said, you're just not used to it. This, you know, starter to the reliever. And I think it affects everybody different. And I think so far with Max the other night, we saw it, not the sharpest stuff. And I thought from Urias tonight, he's at his best when that fastball is 95, riding up in the zone, and he just didn't have that tonight.
Trey Turner in a 1-2 count. The Dodgers have won elimination games 3 times already. Starting in the wild card game, that was a 1-game winner go home matchup against the Cardinals. The walk-off by Taylor. They were down 2-1 to the Giants in the best-of-5 series and won back-to-back games. twice facing elimination in that series. And it looks like they're going to be facing elimination once again. 6 consecutive elimination games for the Dodgers. They have 1 going back to last season. Two. 3 balls, 2 strikes now.
Don't forget, the Dodgers had won 58 games they won here this year, 18 of their last 19, and the Braves had dropped 10 straight. This was their Waterloo.
Yeah.
On the ground, Swanson got to hurry it to first, and just in time to get Trey Turner. 2 outs in the inning. Dodgers will have decisions about third base tomorrow as well. Hated to see Justin Turner leave this game with an apparent hamstring injury. Figure Taylor is going to be that guy at third base tomorrow. But they're going to be without 2 big bats now, Max Muncy and Justin Turner. Dodgers down to their last out here in game 4.
Well, this was a game we talked early on that if the Dodgers scored 2, 3, 4 early, it could have been a different outcome. Brian Snitker would have maybe had to do something different, but the Braves kind of flipped the script and got the upper hand early.
In a bullpen game.
Drew Smyly was signed to be an important part of their rotation. He lost his spot in that rotation in September, and his biggest outing for this team comes in relief on October 20th.
Eating up innings. And a guy who was signed to eat up innings in a regular season schedule. Once you got to September and the days off, didn't need him in that rotation anymore. And he ate up some big innings tonight. 3 1/3. Smyly deserves a lot of credit. Jesse Chavez starting this game, finding out a couple hours before this game. No problem.
I don't think it bothered him.
Rosario?
Eddie Rosario, the first player ever with 2 4-hit games in an LCS. Center field, that ball's hit well. Heredia going back on it, and he makes the play to end the game. The Atlanta Braves are 1 win away from their first World Series appearance since 1999. They win game 4, 9-2. And the Braves will arrive here tomorrow at Dodger Stadium with a chance to erase recent history from 2020.
The Braves in a bullpen game get 22 outs from their left-handed pitching, and tomorrow pitching for the Atlanta Braves, left-hander Max Fried.
Guys on the open, I said they got to slug. The Braves have to find a way to have offense. They went 12 hits today, 6 extra base hits. None better than Eddie Rosario this series, 10 for 17, 2 home runs and 6 RBIs.
That is a signature win for the Atlanta Braves, rolling out their bullpen. And they beat the Dodgers 9-2, out-hit them 12-4. And the Braves are shaking hands at Dodger Stadium for the first time in 10 consecutive appearances. That 10-game losing streak in Los Angeles is over.
The Braves win a bullpen game. The Dodgers are going to have to win one tomorrow.
Yep. Going to have to flip the script.
Yep. Dodgers will be facing elimination for the 4th time in this postseason. Down to Lauren Shahadi. She's standing by with Eddie Rosario. Lauren.
And his translator, Franco, a double away from the cycle. You hit a home run. What were you trying to do?
O sea, un doble y 2 jonrones, un triple. ¿Qué estabas tratando de hacer? Cuando vi la bola, estoy tratando de ayudar al equipo. Cuando vi la bola salir, yo dije, vine el doble ahí, pero de verdad que fue una noche increíble. De verdad que me siento demasiado emocionado y espectacular para mí.
Honestly, I was just trying to help the team win. All I was trying to do. So as soon as I hit that second one out, I was like, well, there goes the double. But it was an incredible night, very emotional for me, and I'm glad the team won.
Why are you so good against the Dodgers?
Contamos del éxito que has tenido contra los Dodgers porque has tenido ese éxito.
Creo que en el nivel que estamos ahora mismo lo que tengo es ganas de ganar y de llegar a la World Series. De verdad que es un enfoque de poder ayudar al equipo a ganar y creo que estoy teniendo un increíble postemporada.
I think right now at this level and at this stage of the game, all I really want to do is get to the World Series. I have that deep desire, and I think I just really want to get to the World Series. And right now it's just been an incredible postseason for me, to be honest.
Now for everyone in Puerto Rico, en español, ¿cómo se siente?
Puerto Rico, los quiero mucho, de verdad que muchas gracias. Mi gente de Guayama, aquí estamos.
Felicidades.
Muchas gracias.
Brian.
Great stuff right there.
Way to go, Lauren.
From Puerto Rico.
And Eddie.
Eddie Rosario delivers a big moment. Thanks to Franco Garcia as well, the Braves translator. And you got to hear from the man who is having an electric NLCS. Our final score tonight in Game 4. Braves win it 9-2. Up next, the postseason show on TBS. It's presented by Hyundai. For Ron Darling, Jeff Francoeur, Lauren Shahadi, and the rest of our terrific TBS crew, led in the truck by Jeff Randolph and Matt Lipp. I'm Brian Anderson saying so long from Dodger Stadium in L.A. You've been watching MLB on TBS, your exclusive home for the 2021 National League Championship. Braves win. They're one win away from a World Series. Game 5 tomorrow.